All right, CR is here. Van Lathan is here. I don't even know where to start. True Lies. I watched it twice in 4 days. I don't know why I don't watch this movie more often. I'm going to give you 3 outlandish takes about True Lies, and you guys tell me where you want to start the podcast. Okay. Outlandish take number 1. Arnold Schwarzenegger's greatest performance of all time.
Not outlandish. I don't think it's...
Outlandish take number 2. This is the best Bond movie of the last 40 years. Outlandish take number 3. Biggest missed chance for a sequel of any 90s movie. Where do we want to start, CR?
Can we start at 3?
Yeah.
Because 2 I think is just wrong, but I respect your... I
like
what you're doing. I like what you're doing, but I think 3 is, of all the things that we have franchised to death, I can't believe this is something that never got a sequel.
Can't believe it. How is the word? We should be like mad that they made a True Lies 5. All right, guys,
a step further. I would have taken True Lies 2 over Avatar.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, in Rounders, when he goes to grandma, he doesn't have his money. He goes, it's got to be a story. That's how I feel about why there's no True Lies sequel. There's got to be a story.
You know what the story is? Titanic made like $2 billion. Yeah. Like, Cameron's IMDb just goes off a cliff after Titanic. He basically just makes Avatar and the second Avatar. And
I think he would beg to differ and be like, I've invented submarines.
No,
and
he's doing, but he's just not making movies. So he didn't need to make True Lies 2 because he didn't need to make any money.
What happened was he got so into the technology of making movies that the actual making of like movies and telling new stories, I think, became less compelling to him.
Yeah, maybe.
He does. I have the Cameron. From 84 to 97, Terminator, Aliens, The Abyss, Terminator 2, True Lies, Titanic. And it's like a Jenga stack, and he keeps going up. And then Titanic happens, and it's the biggest, most successful movie probably ever made to that point.
This is probably the last time it felt like he just like made a movie. I mean, even his version of that is still like Harrier jets and 7 Mile Bridge and like all these like crazy set pieces. But this is one that didn't feel like, oh, I have like a technological advance I want to make in filmmaking, and so I'm going to make a movie to go along with it. This just felt like he wanted to make both a Bond movie and a comedy and the biggest blockbuster. I'll
and work with Arnold again.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go one further. I don't know that this movie has ever been topped in terms of spectacle in action movies. Like since this movie came out, I don't know. There's lots of things that are really like thrilling. There are incredible advances in special effects, but you watch this movie and you're like, I don't know what I'm watching is a miniature. I don't know what I'm watching is digital. I don't know what is practical and they actually are doing it.
Yeah, big holy shit factor.
Yeah, like the holy shit factor in this movie is off the fucking charts.
It's also that way though because the movie keeps playing with its tone.
Yeah.
It starts off with
a couple tones right in Van Lathan's wheelhouse. I'll tell you that much.
We'll talk about it. Yeah. It starts off huge and then it mutes out and becomes like an intimate family comedy about a philandering wife and a husband trying to figure it out. And then boom, the next thing you know, he's the baddest ass in the world again, and there are fighter jets and nuclear explosions and all of that. You kind of forget at a point that that's the movie that you're watching, and then it comes back.
Yeah, you're right. It does do like 2 swerves.
I wrote down the recipe. It's 1 part Bond spy movie, 1 part 80s, 90s action blockbuster with like feral villains, crypto-conservative politics for like the Crimson Jihad thing. 1 part of it is just a De Palma movie, where it's like a guy faking his voice and watching his wife do stripteases and stuff like that and looking at her through the mirror, but she doesn't know he's on the other side. And 1 part of it is Naked Gun, because there's parts of it that are just like straight up madcap screwball sight gags. Like Tom Arnold hiding behind a pole as machine gun bullets miss him is basically like something you would see in a Naked Gun movie.
So my hottest take, I can already spoil it right now, is this is the finest directing work from Cameron ever to me. And it's not the biggest. Obviously, Terminator 2 is like a perfect movie. But the versatility of him, because he's directing comedy in a way as well, right? So when Schwarzenegger walks up the stairs and he sees her and she's on the exercise bike, the stop his face looking at her and then he goes right into his whole thing, it's hysterical. The movie becomes literally side-splittingly funny for the entire middle, and then jumps right back into action movie. He's playing with so many different genres, so many different methods of directing that it was it's like the last one that he did before he just went into the huge blockbuster mode.
Can I be honest with you? Because you were so candid with us on the last Rewatchables when you were like, I didn't like Twister the first time around, or I missed it the first time around where I was kind of
I liked it. I just
you were like worried about what it
mad
portended.
about what was happening.
I was just a kid, so I'm not like pretending like I had like some sort of like mass like understanding of the film business. But when I saw this movie, I was kind of like, this gave me a headache. You know, it's a lot. It's like a ton of sugar in this movie.
Yeah.
And you're watching it, it's like the plot's kind of stupid. The whole like Crimson Jihad thing is kind of stupid. And I think it really did feel like, wow, I wonder if this is going to be like movies from now on, is like, what's the biggest thing we can blow up? You know what I mean? Like, it felt like it was constantly topping itself within the film.
It was right after Speed too, right?
Yeah, and now like going back, when you watch it, you see all the different genres he's playing with. You see like the subtlety of the direction in certain places. Another moment I love is when he comes up to get her for lunch, and then she gets the phone call from Simon, and he stops right before at the cubicle. Like that's a moment you don't really notice the first time you watch, because you're like, damn, they just had a horse in an elevator, you know? But there's lots of stuff like that. But the first time I saw this, I was like, man, I feel like I drank 3 Cokes.
And he's asking more from Arnold Schwarzenegger, because we had seen Arnold Schwarzenegger be funny. He had been funny, right? I think this is after Kindergarten Cop, right? So he had been funny. The twins, he had been funny. But to go back and forth, we hadn't really seen that. And Arnold's like,
they kind of try to do it with him in Kindergarten Cop, but this was way better.
Kindergarten Cop is like just
way better version.
But Arnold's he's charming. He's debonair. He's at the first scene of the movie. You have to believe that Tia Carrera wants to have sex with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he totally pulls it off.
Arnold believed it.
This is also right around the time.
It's like, where we going after?
When he's starting to play, he's at like the peak of his popularity, but he's still playing around with the image.
Yeah.
So he does Last Action Hero and this.
For sure.
And it's kind of like, like you think of me this way, but what if I was like a jealous husband? Or you think of me this way, but what if I was a cartoon character come to life? Like there's a lot of like very self-conscious like commentary on the Arnold image in this.
I have more Arnold thoughts. Just to put a bow on the biggest mischance for a sequel of any 90s movie, I went back and I looked at the top 5 box office for every year of the 90s.
Okay.
And most of them, they're like, we're running that back. Too much money's at stake, right? You couldn't do it with something like Ghost as a beginning, middle, end. The only 4 that were definitely repeatable but did not have a sequel, Pretty Woman, I feel like they could add a sequel for that, where now they're married and living in the Hamptons, and it just goes a totally different direction. My wife would have gone. Just so you guys know.
It's a terrible movie, but yeah.
I'm just saying it could have happened. They make Runaway Bride, which was the unofficial Pretty Woman sequel.
Pretty Woman 2 only works if she becomes a prostitute again.
Like a high-class call girl.
Pretty Woman 2, Back to the Streets.
Pretty Woman 2, Back to the Streets. That's the only way that movie works.
That sounds amazing.
So he loses all of his money because he's a corporate raider.
She's got to go back to
he lost his money in
She's
Madoff.
like, let me chip
in Madoff. And then she's like, no problem.
She's back at the polo games.
She's back doing the whole thing. That's the only way that works.
Let me talk to that polo guy again. The Fugitive, which I feel like they could have done.
They did U.S. Marshals.
Right, but it wasn't officially The Fugitive, so it's like a semi-sequel.
I mean,
that's a sequel.
Harrison Ford's not in it, though.
Okay.
It's a sequel.
Semi-sequel.
Yeah.
True Lies, no sequel.
No sequel.
Twister, no sequel, but now a sequel.
Yeah.
Coming out. So basically, True Lies is the only one that was the all-time no-brainer, let's run this back. And they just didn't. And they didn't because Arnold got older and because James Cameron got rich.
Do you think that part of that, I mean, so Cameron's a huge part of it, where it's like if he just,
I think he's the entire part of it.
He's the entire part of it. So
if this is Rennie Harlan for True Lies 2, we don't care.
So this movie was crucially made during a Bond hiatus. Like they weren't making Bond movies. There was like a...
so this goes to number 2. This is the best Bond movie of the past 40 years. Let's go.
So, but it is fully the fucking Big Mac, Burger King, Big Gulp version of Bond. It is the American version of Bond, where it's just like everything goes boom even louder. Like the gadgets are crazier.
First 15 minutes is a Bond movie.
Yeah.
But
the last 20 minutes are
an Arnold movie.
Right. See,
crossed with Bond.
Yeah.
Tom thought he had it with Mission Impossible. He actually ended up inventing a whole new genre. He thought that was the American Bond movie, but it's actually too heady. The Bond movies aren't as heady as the plot of the original Mission Impossible was. Like,
Yeah.
they're not that heady when you look at them. It's about cool gadgets and one guy driving all of the action. This movie, actually, when I thought about it last night, it was early on, and maybe you guys will be able to pull my code if I'm missing something, on the regular guy conundrum that we would see like go big later on.
In the
like,
2000s.
In the 2000s.
Yeah.
The Sopranos, Breaking Bad. Like, before this, I don't remember thinking, okay, well, what does Bond do when he goes home? Or what happens to the mob boss, like, at his house, in his crib? A little bit of that in Goodfellas and stuff. There was some family stuff. But this one, part of the movie gets, like, pulled under by the fact that he's having personal problems.
And that's what Schwarzenegger was interested in, because this is based on a French movie, right? Where it's like a spy's, like, home life. And
based
that's
on La Totale.
Yeah, and that was like, Schwarzenegger was like, what happens when he goes home? You know, like,
Right. Is that your last Arnold attempt? Don't give up on it. I had you penciled down for more later. Yeah, it was a 1991 French comedy. Arnold saw it because it was suggested by his wife's brother.
His mate?
And he was like, whoa. And then all of a sudden talked James Cameron into it. What Bond movie do you like more than this?
Skyfall.
Casino Royale?
Skyfall. Yeah.
Skyfall.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think I might like
more than True Lies?
Yes.
Okay, well, we're comparing two different types of movies.
Yeah, but he asked me what Bond movie I like more.
I know.
Okay, I mean, like,
I know, but I'm saying I would say that Skyfall and Casino Royale are
All right,
better.
so you're on an airplane.
Yeah.
And you're flying, and there's only 3 movies: Skyfall, Casino Royale, and True Lies. And you're flying to Australia, and it's an 18-hour flight. And the only time you can watch TV is it has to be one of those 3 movies.
Yeah.
What's the order?
Why am I going to Australia?
I just go with
what
the bit.
order? Because it's like
What's the one you watch first? Skyfall.
I watch Casino Royale and then Skyfall and then True Lies.
So you're saving True Lies for last, and you're a little groggy.
Little palate cleanser. Yeah, because Casino Royale
really like
and
Casino
Skyfall
Royale.
are somewhat
True Lies is more fun than those movies. Those movies are even a little bit more dour and different than the regular Bond movies from the past. They're not as much fun as the Bond movies from the past. But they're better movies probably than True Lies.
Where do you stand, Craig?
On what is a better movie?
True Lies versus those 2 Bond movies.
I think Skyfall and Casino are better.
Okay.
But again, they're playing different games.
It's not the same thing. Yeah.
But Craig, you're on a flight to Australia.
Yeah, Craig, you're not coming back.
The
either.
plane's
It's one
going
way.
down. You have to save it by watching one film.
I'm going Paxton. You have to.
All right, so then that leads to the last one, Arnold's greatest performance ever, which you talked about. And I think for me, the answer is yes. And I'm about as big of an Arnold fan as it gets. And I've liked him in a lot of different things, but I think this is the one movie where he blended all the things that worked in other movies. You know, in some ways it's Arnold karaoke, but his accent isn't like, he's not leaning on it too much for comedic crutches. He's doing the action stuff, but he's not like completely overpoweringly gigantic.
Yeah.
He's able to do this stuff with his wife. He's doing like subtle comedy stuff. He's doing
Tangoing
screwball
with Tia.
stuff.
Yeah.
He's tangoing. This is like, I think this is his acting apex mountain.
Yeah, I mean, respectfully, I don't know if that's like saying a ton, but yeah, like I think
Jesus.
I love
Fucking
Arnold. Like
CR.
Arnold Schwarzenegger movies are really good, but I just don't. What are we talking? It's not like My Left Foot. It's like he does a really good job in this movie.
But
God damn, CR. God damn.
But that's
I didn't know I was here with Pauline Kael.
I didn't know I was here with Lee Strasberg.
but that's the reason why though this is his best performance. Because it's the one that's asking him for the most.
Yeah.
Listen, Arnold's not. He's not Sir Laurence Olivier.
Yeah, I wasn't. I'm
He's
just saying. Yeah,
one of the great popcorn actors of our lifetime, and this is probably his best movie.
But there's also,
although I do love Total Recall.
Total Recall's great.
Total Recall's good.
So it's this or Total Recall in the finals.
Now, I think that it's this though because he's asked to do a lot. There's a lot of charm.
Yeah.
And then he has to be like super upset. And then he has to snap right back into being the coolest guy on the planet. So it's asking him for more too in True Lies.
I gotta say, and I've talked about this in past pods, I really miss not having 2024's version of Arnold and Sly. I really feel like those, like in the NBA, we've always been able to replace our favorite players with next
is that
generation
supposed
of
to be
guys.
Vin Diesel and The Rock now? But they're just like
It was never The Rock.
they're not delivering.
He never got there. Vin Diesel only got there as Dom Toretto.
Well, you took a very strong stance on The Rock.
He never got there. The Rock had a million bites at the apple. It just never happened.
If you really look at it, The Rock, for a lot of the solo one-off Rock movies that are supposed to be a big deal, a lot of times those movies don't work. Like The Rock has things that he can.
Did he do Skyscraper and San Andreas?
Yeah, both of them.
Chris, if you're flying to Australia and they had The Rock's entire catalog, where would you start? Walking Tall? San Andreas? The Rock's in bad movies.
Yeah.
I mean, when you compare him to those guys, I mean, you think of a movie like Cobra. Cobra felt like a big, huge deal.
Yeah, Stallone made bad movies that were better than any good Rock.
Yeah,
like Tango and Cash is probably better than any Rock movie.
Do you know the
Cash
Rock movie that I had the most invested in that just really left?
Jungle Cruise?
It was Pain and Gain. And that
I
was
thought
the,
that was
he's
good.
Great.
But that was the one that I was like, this has
to
to be it, right? Like I was like Michael Bay, and it's, you know, I just really wanted more from
Well, the good
That
news is
movie-
he bought an NFL team in Ballers, so it all worked out.
That movie just
He's also
sucks,
in a Safdie movie coming up.
Well, maybe that'll be it. So this is Arnold's big comeback film after Last Action Hero, which CR mentioned. I have all the premiere magazines from the 90s, which I rarely get because sometimes we'll do movies and I'm like, oh, they must have done, and they don't have the piece. This one, they're writing about Arnold.
Oh my
Arnold
God.
is one of their guys.
Yeah.
The Last Action Hero feature is hilarious because it's basically like Arnold flying too close to the sun, where it's like he was all over every aspect of this movie, and he's deciding what was in the poster, and this was Arnold's vision, and he does.
It's also a super expensive script, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he wanted it to be post-violence, so there's like no guns in it, and he's like, there was a toy, there was an action figure that he approved, and the whole article is about like Arnold has been our biggest movie star, but now he's about to take the next step and become a movie corporation, and that movie bombed. And then in True Lies, it's like, you know what worked? Me being Arnold in a really good movie with James Cameron.
Yeah.
And guess what? He shot a lot of people in True Lies. There
He
were
sure
guns.
did. Yeah.
So it happens. I don't know. I was going to do a list, but I didn't. I thought it would be too complicated. But the Flew Too Close to the Sun movie.
Oh yeah, kind
It's
of
like the Michael Cimino, that Heaven's Gate.
Oh, yeah.
Like what those guys
Shoot
coming off
every-
something awesome where they're just like, I can do anything. I'm superhuman.
And now
Yeah.
we're going to only shoot 2 hours a day for the whole thing, and it ends up ruining your whole career. It didn't happen with Arnold, but a lot of people have that movie, though.
Yeah, because there's the actor version of it where it's like you misunderstood what people like about you, or you're
Right.
playing too much with what people like about
Like
you.
when Bill Murray did Razor's Edge. It's
And
like,
then
no,
there's
we don't.
Yeah.
We just want you to do comedy.
and then
Bill
there's the
Murray.
director one where it's
You know-
just like
Yeah,
Apocalypse Now.
really
out.
feeling it.
Yeah.
Actors come back from it more than directors do. Sometimes that movie for directors ends them because it can be such a massive loss. But
Like
actors,
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate ended Cimino, but then like right after Drive, Gosling did that. What was the super violent? I go to Only God.
Only God
Forgives.
Forgives.
Yeah, and he get it. People hated it, but Gosling bounced
I
right
didn't
back.
hate it.
Yeah,
I didn't hate it.
I like it.
Yeah.
Chris fucks with all Gosling
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah,
So it goes. Yeah, the director is a tough one because if they blow too much money
Yeah.
and make a bad movie,
get kicked in their ass for a
Yeah,
while.
you can't.
yeah.
You
Director
can't buy
jail.
a drink in this town.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, actors, they're almost like athletes. Like Arnold's 93 Last Action Hero. That just becomes the year he got knocked out in round one.
Can I
It'd
just
be like Embiid if that only happened once in Embiid's career, except for
Fuck
every
off.
year.
You know, when you get, I'm getting sick of it too. I'm not
it's
even,
like-
I'm not even a
it's like it's
76
fucking July. Like it's like what are you doing?
It'd be like a year where
just-
Embiid didn't make the Eastern Conference Finals.
Hey,
That
can I
wasn't
tell you
every
something?
single year.
If he winds up figuring it all out on Team USA and being the most important component of a gold medal winning team, and you're like, I'm on vacation, I'm gonna fucking quit. If you don't stand before the man and say like I was wrong,
I don't think after watching him against Canada, I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about that moment.
training wheels. He's just getting the
Training
rust
wheels.
off.
He needs to get more than the rust off. He needs to get 15 pounds off.
Jesus Christ.
Arnold goes,
Do you write Jaylen Brown's tweets, by the way?
listen, Nike's keeping him down. Arnold goes from 87 on, Predator, Running Man, Red Heat, Twins, Total Recall, Kindergarten Cop, Terminator 2, Last Action Hero, True Lies, and Junior in 94 together.
Yeah.
It's quite a run.
Junior
He's
was
batting 90%,
Junior was an iffy one.
but it made money.
Made money.
Yeah, people liked it.
Yeah.
And then in 90, he took 95 off. And in 96, he was Mr. Freeze in Batman and Robin. He was Eraser, he did. and he did Jingle All the Way. So he did 3, and it just
treading
didn't
water
feel
at that point.
Didn't feel totally the same. That was the year Stallone put out Daylight, and it just felt like, oh, this it's kind of over. We're heading toward, I don't know,
Daylight.
Nick Cage. We're heading toward.
Well, Tom Cruise is kind of taking, but also the action hero is changing, right?
Yeah.
So the action hero is going from the big buff, like literally, rip a phone.
I could win any fight ever.
Yeah,
to
and then it's going
normal
to
guys.
Normal guys. Tom Cruise, Matt Damon comes along a little while after that. Nick Cage and Con Air, all of that's changing a little bit.
I was going to save this, but I want to actually ask this now. Is that when you watch True Lies now, and I know obviously you love Arnold, we all love Arnold, but like when you watch it, do you ever
Chris.
imagine the kind of actor that you're talking about, the later 90s, normal everyday guy in the role of Harry?
Let me tell you why.
Like who?
Let me tell you why it doesn't work for me.
Like Nick Cage 5 years later?
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. Doesn't work the same.
Let me tell you why it doesn't work. It doesn't work to me because part of the comedy in the role is he's so gigantic, he's so big, and he just gets cut down to size. It's almost as if, which they probably did, they tailored it around what Arnold could do. The team is built around him. So with any other one of those guys, the movie, you can see their softness and their frailty a little bit more.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, it would work with Stallone.
Nobody's funnier with True Serum than Schwarzenegger.
Oh my God,
I don't think there's
the Truth Serum. Well,
True Serum
the reason I asked is because there's a fight scene in True Lies, the bathroom fight scene.
Yeah.
Which just gets like ripped off / homage paid to by Mission Impossible.
Full-fledged ripoff.
So you watch the fight scene in True Lies, and you fully believe that Arnold can fuck up a bathroom full of terrorists.
Yeah.
In Mission Impossible, it's like, come on, man. 5'7" Tom Cruise is beating on all these guys who are rushing him in the bathroom. It's like it's just a different way of looking at action scenes of like, this is almost boring because he's so strong he's gonna win, versus like there's no way this guy could win this fight.
Also, they changed the way those scenes went. Like when Arnold's doing it, he's dodging, boom, 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 grabbing somebody, throwing it into a wall. Like every once in a while, Tom Cruise just throws his whole body into the opponent.
Yeah.
Like he's scrapping, and it makes it more dramatic. But it's still kind of more fun when you watch Arnold do it in a way. Henry Cavill was good in that.
He is good. That's when he gets the arms jacked up.
Mm-hmm.
The Premiere Magazine summer preview from '94, I sent this to CR. It predicted the top 20 box office, and it predicted True Lies #1. And then the rest of the top 5 was The Lion King, Maverick, The Flintstones, and I Love Trouble, which was a bomb.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I Love Trouble.
And then it had The Mask predicted at number 10, Forrest Gump at 11, and Speed at 12.
Oh, it fucked up. They're stupid.
And for Forrest Gump, it said, could be the sleeper of the summer. So as we always say, nobody knows anything. Yeah. But yeah, they at least had the True Lies. There was so much anticipation for this movie because Cameron had hit the point after Terminator 2 where it's like, whatever that guy's doing, I'm there on Friday.
But funnily enough, this one and I Love Trouble both had like, man, I heard James L. Brooks has scrapped the Prince soundtrack and is just reshooting this movie, like, because I Love Trouble is supposed to be a musical with songs by Prince.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And they changed it. For this, it was like, James Cameron's got people working on the 91st straight day without a break, and he's taken over the Florida Keys. Like, this movie might never finish. And it's actually, I miss crazy sets like that. Like, I'm sure that there was a lot of like stress involved, but I wish we got more like reports where it's like, we're on day 126. Like, you know, this guy is still waiting for the sun to come out.
It was the first film with a production budget of over $100 million.
Interesting.
And that whole Premiere Magazine article in July is all about Cameron. And it's weird. It's like, this guy is a complete psycho. Everyone on the set is miserable. Nobody gets time off. All kinds of laws are being broken. They're wearing T-shirts. I'll never work on True Lies 2 and shit like that. And then everybody's like, but I love the guy. I'd work with him again. It was like some crazy genius. It was almost like
it's like
a
Pat
cult
Riley.
leader.
Yeah,
it's like
heat culture.
Yeah, I was thinking like an actual cult where you read about the cult and you go, how do these people not understand they're in a cult? It seems like that was
because of the results.
Because of the results, because they're like,
well,
this all pays off.
I'll be blah, 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 blah. Am I the only person, because I didn't run out and see True Lies right away, am I the only person that heard people raving about Tom Arnold's performance in this movie till it
Yeah.
made you curious about the movie. Like Tom Arnold,
He was a joke at that point.
he was a joke at that point.
He was
But he
divorced
was
from
really
Roseanne.
famous, though.
He was because of
Well,
Roseanne
but he
Barr.
was divorced from Roseanne. She was busting his balls on the Tonight Show and
Mhm.
making it seem like he couldn't get it up and all this shit. And he was fatter, but he was skinnier for this movie. And I think it was kind of a revelation. I think you're right.
And
It was
people
like,
were talking
whoa.
about like well, Tom Arnold is really awesome in this, and he's funny, and he's the perfect foil for Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they should do more money. I heard your boy Roger Ebert talking about this when they did the movie, and I was like, oh my God, like interesting. I didn't know that he was actually a thing until this movie. I just thought
If
he
you
was
only saw
Roseanne's
this
husband.
movie, you would think he was one of the great comedic actors of that decade.
Yeah.
And you would think Bill Paxton was the single funniest person on there.
You would think Bill Paxton was Eddie Murphy. If
Yeah,
you were just
you're like, did Bill Paxton, did he make $1 billion in comedies? All right, Jamie Lee Curtis. You want to do this now or later, Van?
It doesn't matter. It's
All right,
gonna
we'll do it
happen.
later. We'll save it.
Yeah.
Is there an Oscar case for her? I was looking at the best actress and supporting actress.
Yeah.
I'll just read you the best actress. It's bad. Jodie Foster got nominated for Nell.
Oh
Uh-huh.
no.
Susan Sarandon got nominated for The Client.
Okay.
She's really good in The Client.
Rana Richardson and Tom and Viv. Jessica Lange and Blue Sky, she won. And Winona Ryder and Little Women. Those were our nominees.
Oh, it's
So
a
I'm
tough
just
year.
Put that there. And then for supporting actress, Uma lost for Pulp Fiction.
Ugh.
Helen Mirren in The Madness of King George. Rosemary Harris and Tom and Viv. Diane Wiest won for Bullets Over Broadway. And Jennifer Tilly got nominated.
For what?
For what?
That unfortunately got edited. I think it was that, wasn't that movie she made with Joey Pants?
Bound?
Yeah. I think she got nominated for Bound.
Okay.
Okay.
Now you should just say you got your priors. You hate Nell.
Nell is one of the worst movies
So
ever
that
made.
would be your slot, right?
Nell
keep-
was like critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
I don't know what we were doing in 94.
No, it was. Well, you're talking about Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah.
Bullets Over
Bullets
Broadway.
Bullets Over Broadway.
Oh,
my
she was
bad.
also in
Broadway.
Bullets.
She was also
Okay.
in that, yeah.
Back when we just gave Woody Allen 2 Oscar nomination slots for whatever movie he made. I don't know. Would you have thrown her a supporting actress bone, CR?
I think she would get actress because she's co-lead with Schwarzenegger. They share a title card in this.
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, she was really good, but I don't think she's
She's
a
no
lot,
Nell.
man.
no Nell.
She should have talked in that Nell language.
Nell
Nell
going
had that.
crazy.
No,
But you remember this era where like
I'm telling
fucking
you,
love
for the
you.
people listening, because
It's
we
like
keep
only
mentioning
I
Nell.
think that's funny. It is
No.
just really funny
People,
to me.
go to YouTube and watch a scene from Nell and ask yourself how this movie was released in theaters 30 years ago.
passion project, man.
I was certainly passionate. Jamie Lee, underrated, overrated, or properly rated, CR?
At this point,
Yeah.
I think properly rated. I think she's gotten a lot of flowers because of, well, also a lot of derision, but a lot of flowers because
Dan, I'm going to give you your best 8 movies ever.
Mm.
Halloween, Trading Places, True Lies, Fish Called Wanda, My Girl, Freaky Friday, Halloween H2O, and the Everything Everywhere All the Time, whatever that movie was called.
All at once. Yeah.
All at once.
Yeah.
She just is like a really dependable B plus A minus list star.
I think her IMDb is a little better than what The Town was, to be honest.
What do you mean?
Like, those are really good movies.
But she holds her own in all those.
She's in the
movies.
greatest horror movie ever.
Yeah, but she's good in it though. Is what
She's
I'm saying.
good.
So what I'm saying is,
So
you
you're
put her
saying
in
she's Dak Prescott?
now you put kind of a little bit.
Again.
Wait. Hold on. That's actually not bad though. I know you're just trying to hate on everyone you can.
I'm not
in one
trying to hate
podcast.
on Dak
This is a new
Prescott.
category.
What
man.
am I hating on? He's
what
a
quarterback is this?
What
Hold on.
quarterback is this?
Greg, has Dak Prescott won more than one career playoff game? Can you look that up
What's
for me?
Dak
Because I think the
Prescott?
answer is
What
one.
is Dak Prescott's Halloween? Come on.
throwing for like 5,000 yards or something like
Come
that?
on, come on.
I don't know.
What is it?
Well, I'm saying it's not Dak Prescott. She's been in.
So she's better than Dak
She's in one of
Prescott.
your 10 favorite
Is she
movies,
Matt
and you're like,
Ryan?
she's Dak Prescott.
Well, first of all,
She's Matt Ryan.
Well, number one, she's won a championship, so she has to be somebody.
Because
that she-
Halloween is a title.
Well, Halloween's a title. And
Matt
so
Ryan
is
won
the
an
Oscar.
MVP, which is like an Oscar.
Yeah, so she's Matt Ryan.
Maybe
That's not bad.
feels weird though. The only reason why I say that is because in all of those movies that you're talking about, Fish Called Wanda, that's a great cast. She holds her own in the movie.
She plays Wanda.
But I know, but she holds her own in the movie. She never gets overwhelmed by the talent around her. She makes the movie better in every single movie that you're talking about, including Trading Places.
So
Eli
she's
Manning?
Matt Stafford?
Eli Manning?
Ooh.
Eli
Manning.
Yeah.
That's good.
Eli
Manning.
She's Eli.
Eli Manning.
She's got all the accolades for still against. She's Eli Manning.
I'm glad we figured this out.
All right, can we go?
$100 million budget, made $378 million. Third biggest movie in 94. One Oscar nomination, best visual effects. Our guy Raj, what do you think?
3.
Yeah, 3 stars. I personally think this is a 3.5-er. Little upset with Raj.
Okay.
You don't like it.
But he did say it's stuff like that we go to Arnold Schwarzenegger movies for, and True Lies has a lot of it. Laugh out loud moments when the violence is so cartoonish, we don't take it seriously, and yet we are amazed at its inventiveness and audacity. He did call the plot perfunctory.
It's nonsense.
Yeah. Doesn't make a lot of sense.
I'm sorry if I seem a little bit distant right now because I'm imagining.
No, you're in your weird fucking. All you care about is House of the Dragon.
No,
that's fine.
I'm imagining.
We're getting like. You're like the
what an accusation!
No, it's House of the Dragon. It's like, oh my god, somebody killed somebody.
We got to record on late Friday afternoons more often. This is great.
I am imagining us going back through every rewatchables just to put in what quarterback was this.
Oh my god!
But
it would be funny if we made it match to when the rewatchable was recorded. Like that's Brett Hundley.
Pro bowler.
Who's that dude who took over for Lamar?
Hundley.
Tyler Huntley.
Oh,
No,
Tyler
Tyler
Huntley.
Huntley. Yeah,
There
yeah.
is
Brett
also
Hundley's
a
from-
Brett Hundley was on the Packers.
Yeah,
Oh,
from
right.
UCLA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Minshew. All right, let's go to Rewatchable Scene. It's brought to you by Paramount Plus. A mountain of movies awaits on Paramount Plus. I think I've watched all of them. A mountain of heart-pounding action. Blockbusters, Top Gun Maverick. I've seen it a few times. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Transformers, Rise of the Beast. You like that one? A mountain of jump scares with thrillers like Scream 6, Smile, and A Quiet Place Part 2, and a mountain of fun for the kiddos. Family favorites like Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Paw Patrol the movie, and If, also 90210 Melrose Place, are on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Just want to point that out. Discover new movies every week on Paramount Plus. All right, first one. The opening James Bond scene. We get to meet Juno Skinner, Chris.
Yeah. International art dealer.
Here's my invitation. You can see the tango. You can see Arnold headbutting 2 Dobermans. We get to see skiing machine gun guys. That feels the most Bondy.
Yeah. It's also really funny that Cameron, to do that out the exterior shot where you see the chalet, it was like he used half footage from the Alps, half footage from Lake Tahoe, and footage from somewhere else, and put it all together. And I'm like, just shoot one place.
Right.
Nobody cares. And he was like, no, we gotta match 3 different locations.
I like when he does the, can you lean back a second, and shoots like 2 more guys. When I see the skiing machine gun guys, I always feel like when you see people like that in a movie, like, what a waste of great talent, right?
Those guys?
Yeah, like you think about that job where you have to learn how to shoot guns accurately
While skiing.
You have to learn how to ski. Then you have to learn how to combine those 2 skills. I'm guessing that's like 6-7 months.
It's like, isn't that an Olympic sport?
Yeah.
Where you ski and then you shoot
Isn't that
biathlon? Right?
Yeah, the
thing in the
biathlon.
Winter
Biathlon,
Olympics.
But these
Or
guys,
heptathlon?
they're going fast and they have machine guns. So like one of those guys, let's say that one of the guys' names is Hans. Hans goes home that night. It's like, how was work, honey? It's like, it's great, man. I'm really, really figuring out the shooting somebody as I'm on skis.
You know what the funny thing is?
And then like Arnold kills him in 2 seconds.
The reality is you're talking about that guy, but really, that's an executive problem. It's some boss somewhere going, you know what?
Yeah,
you know
it's
what
management.
We need? It's management. You know what we need? Because guys are coming in here, they're getting away. You know, we need somebody who
they
can
got away
ski.
again. We need guys on skis
we need
that
guys
can catch these guys.
who can shoot at the same time.
So they go back to the guy who owns the house and they're like, he got away from the skiing machine gun guys. And the guy's like, fuck! I thought that was going to work. We spent 8 months on this.
Do you think for those guys, it's easy? It's like the longest yard where it's like, let's just get football players. We can teach them how to act. Do you think it's like
so he recruits skiers?
Do you think it's let's get skiers, we can teach them how to fight, or let's get soldiers, we can teach them how to ski?
No, I think they get the skiers.
It's probably
those guys were good skiers.
You get the skiers and you teach them how to shoot, which is why they can't hit shit.
Okay.
I like that scene. I really like this scene, the Georgetown Mall bathroom fight. Where do you stand on the cigarette sunglasses combo with the cigarette pack, the gadget?
I would get confused about where something was.
I feel like that would give me a headache immediately. I can't even wear like reading glasses. Fucking somebody behind me. Mission Impossible just rips it off. It's a flat out ripoff. Even the bathroom kind of looks like.
When Macquarie would say, I paid homage to it, right?
Sure.
Actually, I have that What's Age the Best. That scene comes back a bunch of times.
Yeah.
That bathroom fight scene, they do it in Bad Boys. Maybe Bad Boys was before this.
Every time it happens, I get grossed out when somebody's face gets dunked in a urinal or a toilet.
Yeah,
always gets me.
Always disgusting.
Yeah,
they could be cleaning that toilet for like 2 hours, and I still feel bad for the actor. Like, oh man, I got to shoot my urinal face scene now. Jesus,
this is a funny. Also, like when you're watching this, it sets the level of the violence that we're gonna get. It's pretty intense. Like dudes getting shot with AKs at close range.
Just
this goes right into
explosions, the whole nine. Yeah,
right into one of the best chase scenes ever filmed in Washington D.C.
Dude.
A horse versus a motorcycle. This police horse, just fortunate.
Yeah.
This police horse turned into Secretariat for some reason.
And by the way, it's the first inkling that we get that Harry Tasker can do anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
We already know he can speak multiple languages.
He speaks multiple languages, but there's no mode of transportation that he hasn't mastered. He's a master of all forms of marksmanship, of fighting styles.
Flying.
He
can
be a pilot.
He can do everything but impress Chris, who still has James Bond in the finals against him. You're like is it because Bond's English?
Yeah, that's right. I'm pulling for the English national team, so I'm voting for Bond.
If England ever plays America in the World Cup, CR's rooting for.
You going for England?
No, I didn't say that.
No, he's deep down.
I'm going to vote
deep down. He is.
I would root for the United States of America.
Deep down. Just move there.
I feel really patriotic right now. So,
one of my favorite things. This should be at What's Age the Worst, and it's not. I think the obvious stunt double for Arnold is so fucking funny.
That's in the What's Age the Worst. I have to.
It's a What's Age the Worst, but it's also hilarious. It's so bad.
Because every scene, though.
He's wearing like an Arnold mask, though, right? Like on the horse, there's a scene of Arnold almost died riding this horse in the filming. But I think there's a shot in this scene where he's going through the fountain where it looks like really disturbing because it looks like someone wearing an Arnold helmet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's weird. Cameron has so much money that he's not like, the Blu-ray for True Lies is coming out. But he's
literally inventing that technology as he goes along. Yeah.
I think it's funny because it makes me think of the 80s and 90s because we had that shit all the time.
It's something
the super obvious stunt doubles were hilarious.
There's some
something
Lethal
that we
Weapon
used to be used to.
Yeah.
That we just got. It just never happens anymore.
What's your favorite one ever? I have a clear number one favorite ever.
There's a Lethal Weapon one where it's clearly just a stunt guy wearing a mullet for Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
And he has to crash through like a window or something like that. We've done one where we were fucking crying with laughter at which one?
Well, the best one ever. This is why I like Heat slightly more than you.
Oh, because Rollins.
The Pacino turns into a big burly Asian guy for two seconds.
I don't remember this one.
A big burly Asian guy dressed as Vincent Hanna tackles Henry Rollins.
I don't remember.
And I don't know how Michael Mann. I don't know how they left it in the movie.
Oh my god!
All of a sudden he's Chong Li.
And he throws him through a second and a half, right?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like, that's definitely not Al Pacino. They must have tried it with Al and realized that he had smoked so many cigarettes that day.
Now they won't do it, whatever. In The Irishman, where they clearly needed one during the fight scene outside, they just let a 150-year-old Robert De Niro kick that.
I'm all for using subtle CGI to make the old classics better. Like I've talked about Rocky 1, where there's just clear shots of empty seats.
And you just want to AI populate
just fucking spend $25,000. Put some fake fans in there. Jesus, we have all this shit now. The pool jump, which I think, first of all, it's almost a What's Age the Worst because when it happened in the movie in 1994, it was like the craziest thing.
My mind is melting out of my ears seeing that. Yeah,
like nothing had happened like that in a movie. Now Fast and Furious was doing that 5 times a movie, something like that.
Yeah.
Just raise the bar to like a unapproachable level.
It's just inconceivable that somebody would even think to try to do that, and the guy lands in the pool.
First of all, they've got a horse and a motorcycle in elevators racing up to the roof. Like, that's just on its face is pretty crazy and funny.
This whole scene is legitimately fucking bath salts crazy.
You wonder, because, like, you know, there's that one anecdote where Oliver Stone got high and then he starts writing, doing the whole thing in Natural Born Killers. You wonder if they were serious with this. Okay, we're going to take the horse. He's going to get on the horse. We're going to put the horse in the elevator, we're going to make the horse jump the whole nine. The shit just keeps ratcheting up and ratcheting up.
But the horse got spooked, right? Like, that's why they didn't go through with, like, the horse follow. Like, I don't think
I think they were pretending they were doing, like, a run through, because the story is Arnold almost got thrown off and thrown 90 feet, and the stuntman saved him, which I don't know how apocryphal that is.
Yeah.
It seems like there was some truth to it. I find it hard to believe they would have been risking Arnold being thrown off a building.
Good horse acting, though. You know?
I have, just to step on a nitpick, I just think the elevator breaks. Horses weigh what, 1,800 pounds?
I was wondering about this.
What's the capacity?
Isn't it like 6,000 pounds?
Or
how much does a horse weigh, Craig?
Between 900 and 1,200.
And what's the average elevator?
7 people?
It's fine.
And there's 3 other people in there?
The elevator is what, 3,500 people?
So that's
3,500 pounds?
Yeah, because 3 people aren't 600 pounds.
Yeah.
Residential elevators, 500 to 1,500. Commercial passenger elevators, 2,500 to 5,000.
That was not a commercial. That was like a
commercial. It was a commercial.
It's a passenger elevator. It's not a freight elevator.
I think very conceivable that thing just breaks.
Because of the horse.
Yeah.
So
also think it would have been funny if the horse shit in the elevator. I thought it was a huge missed opportunity.
Toss in Arnold and 2 more people. That's another 600 pounds.
They're over capacity. It's a miracle that thing went up.
I wish you were Jim Carrera. Now I needed to make a giant dump right here on this woman's head.
Same elevator as in the line of fire.
I know. It's so good, man. This is definitely Apex Mountain for glass elevators.
Should we just do a Rewatchables video shoot where we just go to famous locations?
Sure.
Because I would love to go to that hotel and just like ride the elevator and then just cut us into.
Should we go to that hotel and just ride the elevator?
Just ride the elevator and film it.
Should we go to the Book Depository again?
Well, that was great. I love that one. We could go to the couple of the Heat houses.
Yeah, we could go to
the Pulp Fiction diner. Arnold dangling off the roof is good too. Getting the horse to back up. That scene's lit. Next one, Harry overhearing his wife talking to Simon, and he tells Tom Arnold, Helen is having an affair. And he goes, welcome to the club.
And Tom Arnold proceeds to be hysterical. He's super funny before that. He's just...
What kind of a sick bitch takes the ice cream trays out of the freezer? Which apparently Roseanne did in real life, and they worked it in the script.
Yeah.
He told James Cameron, stop cheering me up. Next one, Chris's favorite scene. Arnold test drives the Corvette as Bill Paxton raves about how hot his wife is, not knowing it's his wife.
The vet makes them wet.
The level of insane shit that he's saying in this scene.
Yeah.
He said, like, I've seen the scene so many times, but obviously sucks star the leaf blower.
Yeah.
And then the other one, man.
Ass like a 10-year-old boy.
Like a 10-year-old boy. What the fuck is happening, bro? Like, this is such a crazy.
I think it's kind of unlike any other scene in James Cameron's filmography where he just lets somebody cook for 5 minutes like this.
Do you think Bill Paxton was just like, clear out, clear the side?
My favorite thing is when he's like, what's your secret, man? He's like, oh, I can't tell you. And then the next cut is like, he's drinking a Pepsi and eating tacos. And he's like, here's what you do. I tell you're a spy.
Great stuff. Rating Paxton and Jamie Lee in the trailer is fun. The hotel seduction scene. Let's clear out for Van the way we just cleared out for Bill Paxton.
Okay. So the category is called most rewatchable scene.
Yeah.
And so there is no argument what scene is the most rewatchable scene. This is a Hall of Fame milk first team white girl scene right here. It's a heart stopper. It could be used to do anything. You could bring Dr. Umar Johnson in and sit him down, and you put it on, he might reconsider. She explodes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
God rest Daddy's soul. He was like, what's going on with that? I'm like, that's Jamie Lee Curtis. Oh, she always been like that.
Yeah, because you remember from Trading Places.
Yeah, he's like, she always been like that. Just out of nowhere, perfectly shot, and really the last stand of Jamie Lee, where she just had to remind these motherfuckers real quick, and then went back into Momville.
Right.
Started selling like, what was it? Yogurt to make you go to the bathroom.
It was
Activia.
Yeah.
Activia. This was the last stand before Activia. After this, it was over.
And then she won an Oscar, and she's also in The Bear.
She's amazing. But I'm saying, for the Jamie Lee that I came up with, this was.
I
this
like
was the
Last
thing.
Stand. This is like the '98 finals for MJ.
This is it.
One more time.
Leave them with
She did that
Last
scene,
Stand.
and then she went back to the locker room and cried, holding the trophy.
And everybody was like, literally. See, y'all got the internet now, so it's different. But everybody was like, God damn, because there was a lot of people that were coming up that didn't know she had it like that, and a lot of people that were like,
Right, because
oh,
it's 12 years after
12
Trading
years
Places.
after, yeah.
Also, Perfect, which is on Tubi, and I may or may not have watched 4 weeks
the
ago.
aerobics movie.
I love the idea, though, that you're like stumbling out of a movie theater in Baton Rouge with like other 15-year-olds and be like, I didn't know she had it like that.
It's true. It's true.
A bunch of guys
Let's go
playing
back, play some
Pac-Man.
video games.
But look, you know what? The metamorphosis that happens like just before she goes in,
When she pulls the dress apart.
when she Jamies herself, she pulls the dress
Yeah.
apart.
Does a lipstick.
She does a lipstick, and then automatically you're like, oh shit. But then she even goes to another level when she gets out of the dress. That is a Hall of Fame. I could post that scene right now and say, I bet y'all didn't know that Jamie Lee Curtis had it like that. 2 million views.
I would encourage people to go to Tubi and watch Jamie Lee in Perfect just for the first 10 minutes of the movie.
There's a
Because she's that was her all time.
interesting.
That movie has no plot, by the way.
Perfect.
Yeah, she's just an aerobics instructor.
Right?
And John
Aerobics.
Travolta's a
He's
Rolling
trying to
Stone
write
reporter.
a story.
He's like, I'm
about-
going to write a story about how aerobics are these places are the new singles bars.
It's literally one of those movies.
It's
that's
awful.
about. It's terrible, but it's literally about how attractive the two leads are.
Right.
That's what the
Jan
movie's about.
Wenner plays the Rolling Stone editor, but his name isn't Jan Wenner. It's like Rob Johnson. It's like, why aren't you just Jan Wenner? It's Rolling Stone.
I would just say that my favorite part of this, other than the JLC just out of her mind performance, is how creepy it is that Harry's got like the vocoder on,
Yeah.
masking his voice and being like, "We'll now take off your dress." You know, it's like it's
How much does this cost you? Just get those on Amazon.
I'll send you a link. Yeah.
The True Serum scene is just fantastic because we get Arnold and Tia Carrera, who we haven't even talked about. She's coming.
There's a reason.
Is there anything you'd like to tell me before we start? Yeah, I'm going to kill you pretty soon. And just the whole thing. First, I'm going to use you as a human shield. Then I'm going to kill this god over there.
The Trocar.
Patterson Trocar on the table. And then I was thinking about breaking your neck. The fight scene's great. She says, I married Rambo. And then we get Arnold against 100 terrorists. And he somehow wins. It's just a wonderful 10 minutes.
That whole deal, he gets out there, he's shooting everyone. The coolest shit ever when he steps on the gun and it kicks up into his hand and he just starts deading people. All it is, in front of his wife, who had no idea he was a spy.
As of like 10 minutes ago.
No idea she was such a badass. Florida Keys chaos. Truck's blown up. The truck that falls off the edge with 3 terrorists. The catfight in limo between Tia and Jamie Lee. Harry rescues Helen. And this is what we talked about earlier. How the hell did they do that scene?
Yeah.
Because this was 1994. We didn't have scenes like this where a limo is driving down a Florida Keys bridge and Arnold's on a helicopter pulling his wife out. And it really seems like they're doing it, which apparently they did a version of it.
Well, Jamie Lee does do most of
the
that
hanging.
stunt, and Cameron was also in the helicopter, like doing it with her. I think the thing that's so cool about this is there's a picture of the filmmakers, like the production team, sitting on the model version of the 7 Mile bridge that they used with like the model trucks. And it's really cool. They're sitting in like a water tank or whatever they're doing, wherever they shot this. And you're like looking at it, and you're like, holy shit, that's what they filmed this on. Like that's this sort of magic trick that movie making can do sometimes. But then those are actually Harrier jets. Like there's this mixture of like invention and also excess that he's able to rent multiple Harrier jets for the production and have them fly so close to the helicopter. It's just insane.
Yeah, it's part of the brilliance of the movie. He's just inventing shit that we hadn't seen yet. There's a version of this where Jamie Lee accidentally falls to her death, and then it's like disgraced former hit director James Cameron is quietly trying to put his career together.
That's where greatness lives, bro.
Yeah.
Right at the edge of
saving Dana from the plane, which also is probably the most unrealistic part of the movie because his 14-year-old daughter's just hanging on the front of a plane.
But it does lead to
10 minutes.
Firing a terrorist off of a missile through a building and into a helicopter.
Telling him, you're fired.
Yeah. But even...
You're fired.
I have nitpicks with the whole thing, but, you know, Dana and the wife acclimate to being secret
Spy
agents
family?
like pretty quickly.
I have some thoughts on that.
Yeah.
The 1 year later, the great ending with the tango. That's it. What do you got for most rewatchable, CR?
I have the motorcycle horse chase through the Marriott, up the elevator, and then off of the
pool.
roof. Yeah,
I have it as well.
I have Jamie Lee Curtis's dance, obviously, but I do want to say that when they're first walking into a mega sector, and Tom Arnold is just going a mile a minute with the joke,
just cry.
He's like, she's probably stealing the money to pay for the horse.
or drugs,
And he goes, just open the fucking door. That whole thing makes me laugh. But when I tell you that there was a VHS that I had one time that had assorted scenes on there.
Yeah.
And the Jamie Lee Curtis dance was one of the scenes just by itself, not even the whole movie. I had it on there.
Was the VHS called White Girl Hall of Fame?
No, it had a name, but that wasn't the name.
Van Super Specials.
Today's most rewatchable scene was brought to you by Paramount Plus. From blockbusters to fan favorites, find something new to watch every week. A mountain of movies awaits on Paramount Plus. Plans start at $5.99 a month. Start streaming now. Okay. What's the most 1994 thing about this movie? I'll give you the nominees. Tom Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
Tia Carrera.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Arnold telling Arnold her parents are Axl Rose and Madonna, meaning you're not in control of their lives. The old exercise bikes, Sade music, or someone saying, I was watching Sally Jesse Raphael.
I think it's that. I think it's Sally Jesse.
That was the one that jumped out to me too.
Yeah, because the rest of those things have pretty much endured to a degree, but Sally Jesse Raphael didn't.
A category we don't get to give out very much. The Elizabeth Shue is an Oxford Electrochemist Award. God, this is a great category. I love it so much. We never get to give it out that much, but we get to give it out for this movie to Tia Carrera as Juno Skinner, a wealthy and evil arts and antiquities dealer specializing in ancient Persia.
Yeah.
Because these people exist.
She's the Bond girl. It's like she is like the
Dr. Christmas Jones, nuclear
Goldfinger's
physicist.
assistant.
Denise Richards,
Most unused resource of the 1990s, Tia Carrera.
She's in this and Wayne's World.
I could have done 5 more with her.
I didn't like her in this.
No? Did you like her in general?
I did, but I liked her Showdown in Little Tokyo. Okay, she's Showdown in Little Tokyo, Dolph Lundgren, Brandon Lee, rest in peace. I love her. I loved her in all those. In this one, she kind of just seemed like this seemed like they needed somebody. Like I have her later on. It seemed like she was going for Lucy Liu type of Kill Bill, mysterious badass, and she couldn't quite get there for me.
She had the one tick. She has like the one move in this movie where she's just always like bottle of like a glass of champagne, despite the fact that it's an incredibly anxious scene.
Yeah,
that seemed to be the sum total of it. But she enjoyed herself on this movie, so
she's a Generation X icon. I just want to definitely point that out. Beloved, what's age the best? Hot action movie characters named Juno Skinner. Counterterrorism agencies named Omega Sector.
Omega Sector, the last line of defense.
What do you got, CR?
I think Truth Serum in movies is a great.
I have Truth Serum as well.
Like we should have more Truth Serum in movies.
Should that just be a Netflix show? It's like season 3 of Truth Serum is out.
But you actually give it to people for real, though.
Yeah, you just give it to married couples.
Give it to married couples for real.
Truth Serum.
We should do it. They should shoot us full of Truth Serum. It's like, I've always preferred Colin Coward to you, Bill. He's a better monologuist.
I gotta be honest with you, it's not a bad idea for a show.
Truth serum.
You get some truths from people, you put them on the or live.
Yeah, Craig, cut this out. We're making this.
Can I actually ask?
I said not a bad idea for
Truth
a show.
serum is real, right?
I don't think
sodium
truth serum's real.
Sodium pentothal. I don't know if it's real.
I don't think
I
it
don't
works
know.
like that
I
in
love how
movies.
much we're like turning to you to be like,
Yeah. Craig,
how
much
many
is it-
pounds can an elevator hold?
No, I don't know how effective it actually is, but sodium pentothal, like something that's actually called truth serum, is a real thing. I don't know if it really works. I know people.
I don't think it works like it worked in this movie.
Yeah.
Paxton's 1959 Corvette going for $17,599.
Let's just like, wait, how much did it go through?
That's what it was for sale for in the used car lot. $17,599.
Oh, see, I have a question about that because I freeze framed it and it said it was this. I thought it said $175.99.
No, it
Okay.
was 17.
Let's just talk about Paxton for a second.
For What Stage the Best?
Yeah. Because
we're not doing Bill Paxton month, by the way. I know we did 2 in a row.
Maybe we are though.
I'm not ruling it out,
okay.
but I'm not ruling it in.
It's not only the scene at the used car lot, and it's not only when he's pretending to be the super side with Jamie Lee, but the scene of him at the dam when he's gotten caught and he thinks they're gonna kill him is the fucking funniest thing. We're just like, I got a little dick, and he pisses himself.
Then the callback where he pisses himself again, as if that happens every time. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't really know he was capable of that kind of comedy. He's as funny as he's ever been in his career in the whole fucking
It's
movie.
incredible.
Yeah.
The Cameron and John Landau connection was born on this movie. John Landau just passed away. And a lot of people, you can kind of tell when the feedback, when people in the movie industry dies, it goes a couple different levels. That one, it felt like everybody was talking about it.
We haven't really
beloved producer.
talked about Crimson Jihad yet or their communication strategy, but I did think that the battery failing on the camcorder during the middle of the video is hilarious.
How about taser guns that shoot people unconscious for short amounts of time?
Taser gun? What taser gun?
With that thing they shot
I think
Arnold and Jamie Lee with.
That's some kind of injectable, right?
Yeah, those little side things. They only have them in movies.
That's
I
not
don't
a
think those
taser. That
exist
was
in
an
real life.
That's an injectable.
Or whatever. Yeah, taser injectable guns. What are those called?
It's not a taser.
Craig, what are those called?
You're talking about like a train.
Having a stroke. We keep saying it's not. It's not a
Taser
taser.
injectable.
But it's a
Are you guys looking for the word tranquilizer?
Yeah, tranquilizer.
He doesn't need the word tranquilizer. He's obviously on one right now.
Yeah.
Yes, a trank dart.
Trank dart.
Yeah.
Trank gun dart.
Yeah, taser. Yeah. Trank taser.
I'm here with President Putin.
Oh my God.
Cameron really got to destroy the bridge.
Yeah.
And it's still destroyed to this day.
So I thought the bridge was a model.
No, there was an actual
There's,
bridge
like, some
that
of
was
it
kind of a
is-
dead
yeah.
bridge.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they shot it with missiles?
They
blew it up. They blew it up.
blew it up, but
Yeah.
they rebuilt some of the parts. So
Is
they
that
could
the
blow it
bridge
up.
in Roadhouse? In the new Roadhouse? Because there's
I don't
like
know.
a dead
There's a
bridge.
lot
in
of weird Florida Keys bridges.
Okay.
Here's what's aged a bit the best.
You sure?
Are there?
Nobody's going to push back. There's a lot of weird
But we're Florida
Keys
bridges. Florida's got long bridges.
Yeah.
It's a long bridge place.
All right.
You've been to Miami.
I've been to
Some
Miami
of
a
these
bunch.
weird long bridges. You're like, where the fuck am I going?
I don't know that they're weird. They're over water, so they're
Yeah.
pretty useful.
Yeah. Arnold got top billing in his contract. And then it was going to be the title. And then it was going to say Jamie Lee Curtis. And Cameron finished the film. And he realized it was really a husband-wife film. And he called Arnold and he said, can we move Jamie Lee with you before the movie in the credits? And Arnold's like, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And Curtis really appreciated it.
You know what? There's 42 bridges in the Florida Keys.
Oh, see?
Are they weird?
37 of them are weird. CR, what do you have for the Great Shot Gordo Award?
I think it's probably, unlike most of the times we give out this award where it's like because of the lighting or the framing, it's just the ingenuity of the final Harrier jet skyscraper sequence.
Yeah.
Just because it's like a 45-foot model that they use so that they could turn it around and stuff. And
It really feels like it's on a skyscraper.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I had Jamie hanging from the helicopter.
that's good.
That's just such an iconic scene. Yeah.
Den of Thieves, Benihana Award, scene stealing location. Either what CR just said or the bridge. The bridge just looks cool.
Bridge looks cool.
The
I
wide
also
shot
had
of the bridge.
the Marriott elevator.
Kid Cudi Pursuit of Happiness award for best needle drop is whatever that song they
The
were playing
dance.
for the dance.
Mhm.
John Hyatt.
Was that playing? That wasn't playing practically in the film, right? That was just
No,
for
they
the
kicked
audience.
it in. Yeah.
In the scene in the movie, it's quiet in there, right?
Yeah.
That's the weirdest part of that whole scene.
Is it
there's
weirder
no
than him
music.
speaking fluent Arabic and French? Or is
Yeah.
it- yeah.
Well, that's a recording. That's not him.
Yeah.
But she's dancing.
She's dancing to nothing.
The music, maybe it's in her head because she's dancing
Yeah.
like she's dancing to that
Correct,
song.
but no one
But the
presses
music-
play in
Right.
the movie. There's no boombox.
Big Kahuna Burger Award for best use of food and drink.
I like Simon's Chinese restaurant.
Mm.
I always wondered like what the Chinese restaurant proprietors thought of Simon.
Mm.
It's like, this guy brought another lady in and handed her a briefcase.
This fucking guy is,
Bring him his sweet and sour chicken.
this guy is such a loser. The fucking people walk through the door. He goes for his fake gun.
Yeah.
He's playing it up so fucking much.
That's good. The Butch's Girlfriend Award, weak link of the film. It's a few options here. What do you got, CR?
I think it's probably I would imagine number one seed here is Tia,
That's what I had.
but I think through no fault of Art Malik's, I think the main villain does not get like much of an arc. You know, it's kind of, he's on 11 and he never really adjusts very much.
The moment the first time you see him, the big reveal where he smacks the shit out of her twice in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's there for the rest of the time. And they don't really go into it much
Aziz,
except
yeah.
for,
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle Brandt and I did the bad guy in the dumb action movies we love, like the scale 1 to 10, and the guy from Powers Booth and Sudden Death, I thought was a 1 out of 10. The guy
It's
from Toy
bad.
Soldiers is bad, but then it goes up, and then Hans Gruber's a 10.
Mhm.
This guy's not even a 1 on the
Oh,
scale.
you think he's sub Powers Booth?
He's just not. There's nothing.
But I'll be honest.
I think it could have
Put
been
this
a
in
good
terms
part.
I understand. What quarterback would he be?
I did not playing.
Nathan
prac-
Peterman.
Practice squad.
Peterman.
Peterman's
It's just
got
they
a lot
don't
of potential,
even
though.
they don't even attempt to try to have him be interesting. It's weird. It's a weird choice.
But you know what's funny though, and this is in like, what's aged the worst? I know we'll get to it. But this is a very pre 9/11 movie, like a super duper
And was
ridiculously
protested even
yeah.
so. Yeah.
ridiculously
yeah,
pre 9/11 movie.
it's a what's age the worst.
So they didn't want to. Those guys are one note for a reason because at the point at the end of it, they become like bumbling and cartoonish and buffoonish.
Which
and all
seems
that.
like that was his intention.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking this is the end of some weird era. Like you think of Back to the Future and how the terrorists are used in that movie, and it's just the tail end of that.
Yeah.
and then
Do you know what movie ended it to me?
starts to
Top
change in the
Gun
90s.
kind of. I mean, even Top Gun, it's not
Yeah.
terrorist, but it's like with the evil. Yeah.
But this was wrestling was like this. I
Yeah.
mean, we had all these wrestling stereotypes.
Oh,
And
it
it's
was-
just
it
what
was
the
bad.
80s, 90s were like.
But like the movie that ended it to me was The Siege, because when The Siege came out, when the trailer dropped to The Siege, they showed those guys praying in it, and everyone went no
They'd be
good.
like, this is
bad,
we've gone too far.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
We've gone too bad. We've
Yeah.
gone too far. And so they kind of changed the dynamic of it, after that. But it was pretty common during this time.
And it even changed in as you know, wrestling reflects
Yeah.
real life a lot of times. But even in wrestling, they kind of got away from the stereotype stuff by the mid 90s.
Yeah.
You go to the late 70s, early 80s, and it's Mr. Fuji, Mr. Saito, it's Nikolai Volkov.
That changed though after Booker
It's the
T
Sheik.
inadvertently called Hulk Hogan the N word, and that was a bridge too far.
Right. That was it.
That was a
We're
weird,
coming for you, and like that was a bridge too far.
a weird
for him.
Florida bridge too far. Did we do Vincent Chase?
What do you mean?
The Vincent Chase Award for Are We Sure This Character Was Really Good at Their Job?
No, we can do it for this. What do you got?
Spencer Trilby? Charlton Heston? I'm
Yeah.
sure we're going to get to
All right,
Heston.
we're
Yeah.
getting to.
Yeah.
I had a different answer for weak link of the film.
Let me guess. The daughter.
No.
Oh, interesting.
What am I, like a freaking daughter
Monster?
misogynist?
A daughter misogynist. Okay, yeah, go for just whatever.
Is the interrogation scene of Jamie Lee is too long.
Oh.
It's literally 11 minutes.
I
of-
thought that
with
was the most
window.
human part of the whole movie.
Yeah,
even though
I
it's
like
fucking
too long.
weird.
Yeah.
It's
I
11
actually-
minutes.
I actually
11 minutes is
forgot
fucking long.
to mention it in Rewatchables, it really ties the whole movie together.
It's just too long.
It's where he finds out she's not actually cheating.
Yeah.
When he finds out, like,
Dude,
what's
She becomes a
actually wrong.
3D
Let's get it
character.
done
She
in
becomes a
4
3D
minutes.
character, yeah.
Let's get through it.
Okay.
What's age the worst? I don't love the score in the beginning, and I don't love the opening graphics. The opening graphics are bad. Change those
Agree.
on camera when you go back for the Blu-ray. Hit those. So it's 1994, and Arnold's 14-year-old daughter is riding a motorcycle and listening to Cream. Why isn't she listening to like Nirvana or Audio Slave?
James Cameron respectfully sometimes seems like
Audio
the
Slave wasn't ready yet. What
kind of
am I
guy who
thinking?
has
Soundgarden.
like 12 songs on a playlist, and those are the only 12 songs he's ever heard.
Can I say something?
There's no way she's listening to Cream.
I know.
It's just like
I
a
agree.
0% chance.
But the only reason why I get slight pushback is because when I was in middle school, which was around that same time, it was the white kids that like introduced me to all of. They were so
classic
into
rock?
the Doors. Yeah, they were listening to all of that
I don't
stuff.
know.
It's 94.
Music-
Man. She's listening to Soundgarden.
Yeah, the music
Soundgarden.
is like never
Black
been
Hole
better
Sun?
than it was in 94. Eye patch Charlton Heston. He's just bad. I mean, if he was in the movie more, he would have been the weak link, but he's
Yeah.
really only in it for 4 minutes.
It's doing a Nick Fury impression right
It's
there.
bad.
Yeah, the real Nick. Well, not the
And
real,
the impact
real
of
Nick
like,
Fury.
oh my God, Charlton
Sorry,
Heston
man,
in
that
this
was
movie
racist.
30
Yeah.
years later is not aged.
It was a
the same
stunt
way.
casting. It
Yeah.
was just, you know.
I wrote down the terrorists aren't fun and they all kind of suck. What are the lamest terrorists in great movies? Raiders, this movie, Back to the Future.
Raiders
Anybody
are
else?
just Nazis.
Just
though, right?
Nazis, yeah.
They're not really
Well, I mean bad guys.
bad guys.
Yeah.
Oh, the lamest bad guys?
Yeah, some sort of. Because the Raiders, the Nazis.
Well, Belloc is kind of,
He's French.
yeah, he's French. But doesn't he's worked for the Nazi. Anybody that works for a Nazi is a Nazi, right? No?
I don't know if this is the right platform to
Probably.
discuss that.
Take two.
But no, that's a good question. But who else? What are the other bad guys who suck in really
Just
good
like
movies?
terrorists that should have been like way better action movie characters.
It's
Then they
you know what
turned
it
out.
kind of takes all the air out of it is in Die Hard when Alan Rickman is like dictating all of the groups that he wants released.
Yeah.
I think he says Crimson Dawn, which is basically Crimson
Right.
Jihad, which makes it seem so much funnier.
Yeah. Almost every bad guy in the Beverly Hills Cop movie sucks.
Oh, that's a good one.
You
You're
don't
right.
like Victor?
I do like Victor Maitland.
It's just like whatever. Could have been anyone. They're all kind of copy paste. It kind of whatever, you know.
There's a pretty brutal story about Elijah Dushku from this movie.
Yeah, this is
where,
the what's age
this
the worst.
is this is an all-timer for what's age the worst, but she said she was sexually molested by the stunt coordinator Joel Kramer on the set.
Yeah.
And that she got hurt doing a stunt after it happened, almost like she alleged like she was
Retribution.
trying to hurt her in some way, and it's not awesome.
Schwarzenegger and Cameron and Jamie Lee Curtis all like stood by her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty brutal. But when the Me Too that year, when it really kicked in, it was one of the first stories that became a story. And then you mentioned that the film received a lot of criticism for its portrayal of Middle Easterns. I can't
Arabic
speak.
people, yeah.
Middle Easterners and treatment of female characters, which is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a pretty grisly movie in that regard. I mean, it probably wouldn't fly today for sure.
Yeah, I was actually looking at it with Kalika, and then she loves the movie. And she's like, when he walks in, he's like, "Can I have a word with you?" She goes, "Fast forward past this part." She's like, "Fast forward past this part." And she's like, I can't watch this part. He just, like, almost with he just smacks the shit out of her twice.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
Yeah.
I have one more that aged the worst.
Yeah.
Loose ass suits. So they had some baggy ass suits on in this bitch. It was like the 2000 NBA draft. Like when you look at the suits technology has changed. This was big part of the baggy suit era.
Arsenio era.
Arsenio,
He started it.
baggy whole
David Byrne
suit
and
era.
Arsenio.
Yeah.
And then it's over now, but they had some baggy ass suits on in this bitch.
The Saul Rubinek overacting award. It's either Charlton Heston or the head terrorist.
Or
guy.
Art Malik, yeah.
Do you have any hard data? Heston's bad.
Why does he have a eye patch on?
Why is he? Like, what's he doing?
Is he supposed to be Nick Fury?
I
Like,
think he's. I'm literally. If you look up comic book
No,
Nick Fury right now.
everyone says how it's
Look,
like a
if you
secret
look
Nick
up
Fury.
the way the not the Samuel L. Jackson Marvel Ultimates Nick Fury, but if you look up the comic book Nick Fury right now, they look identical. I definitely think they were doing some kind of Nick Fury thing.
Was there a better title for this movie? I'm going to say no.
No.
True Lies is a
Awesome
good title.
title.
Can You Dig It award for most memorable quote? How come billionaires are always short? I thought that was good. The CR thinks Luke Wilson could have been Harrison Ford Hottest Take Award, which Van already did his. Do you have one?
I think that James Cameron kind of broke the model for blockbuster filmmaking with this run that he went on, but specifically with this and Titanic and going forward, where if you look at like Jurassic Park and it's like a $65 million budget and makes $1 billion, obviously not every movie could be Jurassic Park, but at $65 million, even a modest success would have been profitable.
Yeah.
But this is where movies start to really, the budget starts to inflate. It starts to become more about effects. It starts to become more about set pieces than story, maybe.
The story becomes how much money they spent.
And I think that now you're in a realm where it's like, hey, we spent $300 million on this. There's just basically no way it can be profitable unless it's the most popular movie of all time.
It's actually good because after this, you have Waterworld. Like, we really start paying attention to the budgets of the movies.
It's just the idea of hitting doubles rather than going for a home run. It's like,
I don't even know how hot of a take that was.
Yeah. But I was thinking about
I
it
have
when
a
I was
hot
watching this. What was yours?
The opening 15 minutes of this movie, I think, created Fortnite.
Created Fortnite?
Yeah.
So,
If you ever played Fortnite,
yeah.
everything that happens from the moment things start blowing up.
Okay, but the question
this
is,
movie-
It's the foundation
But
of
this
Fortnite.
movie is based on like World War II
I don't know. I thought
movies.
my job was
Yeah.
I thought my job was to do hot takes.
Yeah.
it's a hot take, but when you
skiing people with machine guns,
when you do it,
and car chases,
when you do
and
a hot take, are you saying that someone watched this and was like, "I have an idea"? Fortnite.
do we know?
I'm not saying.
I'm
we
thinking
do.
it's possible.
So I had a secondary
guy
hot
running
take.
through the woods. How many times do you have to run through a forest in Fortnite?
I had a
and turn around and shoot at people.
secondary hot take that I thought was too stupid until we got Fortnite.
Thank you. Let's go.
Which is that if they
I thought my job was to come up with a hot take.
if they had copyrighted,
you're like doing Roger Ebert. I'm here like throwing takes out.
so what? You're Jim Rome? Like what are we in the jungle?
Hottest take.
I thought that if they had copyrighted "You're Fired," The Apprentice isn't that popular and Trump never becomes president.
Now that's a hottest take.
Yeah.
See, that's a
Thank you,
hottest.
CR. Thanks for taking off your Roger Ebert mask and playing the game. Now we're talking, Craig. Casting what ifs. Could not confirm this. It was on the internet. I don't know if I believe it because everything seems to indicate James Cameron wrote this movie for Jamie Lee.
Mhm.
But there was a whole Jodie Foster was originally cast as Helen, but turned it down to do Nell. I'm going to mention it. I don't believe
Seems
it.
like a rumor designed to drive you
Feels
insane.
super half-assed because she like funded Nell and produced it.
Yeah.
It was a passion project for her. James Cameron knew Jamie Lee Curtis from Blue Steel, directed by his ex-wife Catherine Bigelow,
Remember
which
that
I
one?
watched recently.
Blue Steel. She was the cop.
Blue Steel gets dark with
Yeah.
like 20 minutes to go.
Ron
Where they
Silver?
kind of like crosses a line that
Yeah.
you can't come back from.
Yeah, like Ron Silver. She's the cop.
Yeah.
She's going after Ron Silver, who is a serial killer, but
He's
also
a serial
like
killer that was in the
real estate
convenience
developer?
store where she shot a guy who robbed the liquor store.
Yeah.
And he grabs her gun and is so delighted that he watched somebody die that he starts killing people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're not going to believe this, but this movie's on Tubi.
I always get Blue Steel confused with Blue Thunder. Is that the police helicopter movie?
Yeah, that's Ray Scheider with
That was
helicopters.
awesome.
There was a movie, I can't remember the name of this movie, with Tom Selleck. It was a cop movie. They used to always
Yeah.
play it with Blue Steel, where it was like in the future.
Gene Simmons. is
Yeah.
in it. Yeah.
Well, like it was in
Runaway.
Was that what it's called?
Yeah.
I bet that's also on Tubi.
Yeah.
I think it's on Tubi. You know what else is on Tubi? Mother's Boys with Jamie Lee Curtis, which is terrible.
I never even heard of that.
Yeah. Tubi's got everything. We should get Tubi as a sponsor. Does
I'm on
Tubi
it.
have money? Do they just get terrible movies and just put them?
Tubi's killing it right now.
Tubi
Tubi-
is fucking
Why
killing
can't they
it.
give
Yeah.
us a category?
People were hating on Tubi because
Tubi's great.
because
Tubi's making
the-
a run.
Tubi is making a run.
I like Tubi.
To what?
I'm telling you.
The fucking NCAA
Dominance.
tournament? Like,
Tubi's doing it, man.
Tubi,
Just
where
like
you can
Jamie
watch
Lee. I
Blue
didn't know
Steel
Tubi
with
had
Jamie
it.
Lee
Yeah.
Curtis.
Still, yeah.
Arnold was against Jamie Lee,
Interesting.
and
this is Cassie What Ifs.
yeah, and Cameron really wanted her, and went to Schwarzenegger and said, "Do you trust me?" Schwarzenegger's like, "Sure," and he's like, "It's going to be Jamie Lee," and Schwarzenegger's like, "All right, I trust you." Tom Arnold did the audition just to meet James Cameron, did some scenes with Arnold. Cameron noticed they had chemistry. And then afterwards, Tom Arnold said to Cameron, Arnold's not that big. I think I can take him. And Cameron's like, you're hired. I love you. You're perfect.
He never got back here again.
He did not.
No. If you just watched this movie, you would have been like, what were his next 5 years like?
Yeah.
He must have been
interesting. He never got back here. We did McHale's
By the way,
Navy
he's a cool guy. Like
he's funny.
Run into him. Like he's like a good hang. He was on the Best Damn Sports Show.
What's he doing? What is he even doing now?
I don't know.
He wasn't in McHale's Navy. That was somebody else. He did one movie, one of those.
He made a few things.
But like he never got back here.
And then last one, Tia Carrera claimed on the Adam Carolla show that she eventually replaced Karina Lombard after filming began.
He was in McHale's Navy.
Karina Lombard
McHale's Navy, okay, yeah.
From The Firm.
I don't know who that is.
She's the woman who's with Tom Cruise on the beach.
Tom Cruise on the beach in The
Firm.
Oh,
okay, yeah. I do know who that is. Yeah.
You've seen The Firm with horny Gene Hackman?
Yeah.
It's the only time Gene Hackman puts the horns on. Yeah, he's freaking horny. Next category. Hackman.
What is going on?
I know what the fuck is up with Bill.
Oh,
It's
God.
the only time he puts the horns on. He's fucking horny.
It's late Friday afternoon. I'm feeling it. The Van Lathan Award. Did this movie need more black people?
No.
You don't think Spencer Trilby could have been a black dude?
No, man, it's fine. Sometimes we
A
just
wise black man?
No, man.
I think the third spot with Arnold and Arnold easily could have been somebody funny.
Yeah.
You're talking about the guy.
Grant Heslov?
Grant Heslov. That spot
he was going to be
that
my
could have
best that
been-
guy.
But that could have easily been, I don't know, Martin Lawrence.
But you're talking about the third guy on the mega sector, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why they put him there was probably to offset the optics.
Good point.
Yeah.
That didn't work, though.
Nah, I didn't.
Best that guy award, Grant Heslov.
Faisal.
Easy. Deion Waiters Award, one of the easiest selections of all
It
time.
it might actually, it's rare that this happens. I think it's happened once or twice before. It's in conversation for changing the name of the award.
No,
Absolutely.
Come on.
I told
What is Deion Waiters going to do with himself?
The Simon from True Lies Award in honor of Deion Waiters.
Can't
could
change. It's
I
like
literally
changing the
have
Emmys.
I have it written down. It's so good that you could almost. It's almost written for
It's
him.
good.
And
But we've
we
had
didn't
other
talk
ones
about
that
the
we talked about
fantasy punch that kills him. Like when he's in the Corvette and he's like,
Oh yeah, and his head blood everywhere.
I have to lie to get women to get laid, and I don't score much. I got a little dick. Recasting Couch Director or City. Who would you have as the lead terrorist? Because we have to fix that one. How about this? Can I throw Liam Neeson at you?
oh, like a little Irish Republican army operating on
Yeah,
American
he's just
soil.
got mixed up with the Middle Easterns,
Yeah.
but it's just like Liam Neeson when he was really kind of killing it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty big for the role.
I don't know. I was just trying to think of like,
He
could
is-
this have been like a Hans Gruber-y type of
Yeah,
role?
I mean, like I think you could Malkovich, like if it wasn't Crimson
Malkovich.
Jihad, if it was just like some terrorist organization.
Sean,
I'm thinking Sean Bean, but that's just because of
Sean Bean.
But that's just because of Clear and Present Danger.
Yeah.
Sticking in my room.
Guessing
Yeah.
thing with Gary Oldman, you know, like
Gary
in
Oldman?
Air Force
Gary
One,
Oldman.
but like he kind of does it.
Liev Schreiber. I'm just naming actors. Romo Collinsworth or some other announcer for the director's commentary.
Oh, Mike, she's wearing a tiny black dress and doing a striptease. It's for a mystery man who turns out to be her husband. She just wanted to do something outrageous. You love to see that. She's out there gaming. That's not really Collinsworth. I don't know what's going on there.
It was kind of a late Friday afternoon call.
Yeah, it's Collinsworth after a couple pops.
I was trying to think of a McAfee show joke, but I can't. I don't know if I can land the plane. No, just like that Harry is a dog. Half-assed Ernie research. We mentioned Arnold almost got thrown off the horse and thrown 90 feet, and a stuntman caught him, and he says, "This is why I always love stunt people." Feels like that story has been a little exaggerated over the years.
Bullshit.
Cameron and his senior visual effects supervisor, John Bruno, came up with the plan to put a model of an airplane on the roof of a real building to create a more believable action scene.
Yeah.
It sounds like Cameron would just be like, what if we
So he was the cool,
did this?
cool
and then
piece
they
of
would do
research
it.
I read was just about how he started his own digital effects production company during True Lies. Like True Lies, he started this place called Digital Domain that did like
Huge.
Avengers Endgame and shit.
huge,
and
yeah.
it's like sometimes I take a step back and I'm like, should James Cameron buy the Celtics? Like, how much money does this dude probably have?
Oh, this is a great question.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire, yeah, for sure. And also, I do think that when you look at how inventive this movie is, it is him. This movie, it is him just trying shit that makes him want to consistently try bigger shit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happens to his career as a filmmaker. He becomes a guy who's like not just into the, of course, the filmmaking process, but the technology of it and the can I do it?
And what can we do underwater?
Yeah,
And what can
we do underwater?
Yeah, right.
What can we do with this? What can we make the Titanic look real? Can we do all of this stuff?
CR came up with a great idea for a podcast.
Who should buy the Celtics?
How much money does this guy have?
Yeah, that's the
each
thing.
episode, you're just like, wait, Jerry Seinfeld. Seinfeld's been on reruns now for 26 years.
Yeah.
Not to mention he made 20 million a year when he was doing it. Like,
And a Netflix deal for it?
And do you remember what happened when the DVD came out?
Yeah.
When the DVD came out, there was some crazy fucking things.
yeah, they
to
made
where
like
for
$500 million.
for a couple of years, he was making
Yeah.
like $200 million a year
Yeah, why
or
can't
something
Jerry
like
Seinfeld
that.
buy the Celtics?
I remember there was a New Yorker article about Cameron. I think it was probably around when Avatar first came out. And it was about how he had invented a foam to spray on his house in Malibu so that it wouldn't burn down if there was forest fires. And it was like proprietary. Like he invented the foam.
Mhm.
I was like, that guy is not on Twitter, man. Like he just invented a forest fire foam for his house.
People would say stuff about him, and I would think that it was bullshit. People will go, well, he invented a camera to make this movie. Or
He's like
he,
MacGyver.
He
Yeah.
designed the submarine. It's like the guy who's been down to the deepest part of the ocean is not some French depth scientist.
It's James
Cameron.
He also like during the making, or what, I don't know, maybe it was earlier in his career when he was first dating Gail Ann Hurd, who was his producer. They
Yeah.
would just like go to the desert and shoot AKs. Like he really is about that life.
He is. Remember when
There's
the
not
James-
like, do you want to hang out?
He's the new Bill Brasky. One time James Cameron was hanging from a building.
yeah.
when the dudes got fucked up in the submersible, everywhere after a while,
Yeah.
James Cameron. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he was so mad because he was like, I could
He
have
was
fixed
pissed.
that.
He's like, if they would have just talked to me, I could have helped them with their designs.
It'd be funny, like washed up James Cameron, where he still has the ideas, but they're not good anymore.
Yeah.
He's like, I have this idea to save red wine so that it tastes 100% with this contraption I made in there. Everyone's like,
This
cool,
is why I
James.
want him to buy the Celtics, is I want him to be like, you guys have to be the first guys to play a game in the bottom of the Mariana Trench.
Right.
It's like tragedy struck the Celtics. Jason Tatum got the bends. He won't be playing this year.
Oh, man. We mentioned the ice cube trays from the freezer joke was a reference to Tom Arnold telling Cameron that story. And then Arnold really got caught up with dancing a tango and rehearsed for allegedly 6 months because he wanted to be as good as Al Pacino in Son of a Woman. Same music, by the way, as Son of a Woman. They filmed the horse in the hotel scene at the Westin Bonaventure Hotel, downtown LA. Not far from us. Could
Nope.
be an easy rewatchables road trip. What do you think for body count in this movie?
Oh, shit.
Hundreds.
Yeah, 150, 200.
90.
Oh.
Oh,
Thought it'd
for
be higher.
real?
Yeah. Thought it'd be higher.
What's your favorite death in this movie?
I like the three guys tipping over.
I like the guy who goes flying through the windshield of the truck and then the truck runs him over on the bridge.
I've always been obsessed with the human missile shot into the into the helicopter.
And then that's it. Apex Mountain. Arnold. No. But he's about to start going down the mountain.
I have Arnold caveat.
Yeah.
Arnold standalone movies. No sequel. The movie's not involved
Arnold
in the franchise.
standalone movies.
Man.
Arnold standalone movie. No sequel. The movie is not involved in the
it's
franchise.
definitely this.
Yeah. So you would have Eraser, Commando, Total Recall, The Running Man, Twins, Kindergarten Cop. Predator doesn't count because it's a whole big franchise. He didn't show up in the other ones.
Total Recall, they did though, so that's eliminated.
Total
They remade it.
They rebooted it, but it doesn't.
He's not in it,
Farrell.
right?
Yeah, but so I'm saying Predator I take away because Predator is a whole big lore. Just Arnold standalone movies. Just one. Is this the best one? This is the best one, right?
Best one.
It's the apex mountain for that.
Best one. Tom Arnold, Apex Mountain.
Without a doubt.
1990s tango scenes. Would you go this or Son of a Woman?
Son of a Woman.
Son of a Woman.
I think it's Son of a Woman's better.
Jamie Lee Curtis hot scenes. Think about it.
Trading Places.
Trading Places. I mean, there's a lot.
Perfect. That's the best she looks.
So you're saying Perfect.
She has a whole aerobic scene when she's just fucking John Travolta, where it's like, why did this movie make $700 million?
Yeah. You're a freak.
It's on Tuesday.
Like, it's funny.
I'm a freak. It's some fucking mystery videotape.
Wait.
You had the white girl super mix.
Can I say something? I didn't have one tape. I had several volumes of this. But I'll say I get credit for being a freak. I feel sometimes your freak is a little underrated.
I'm just saying Perfect.
Perfect.
Just watch first 10 minutes. Tia Carrera, it's Wayne's World.
Wayne's World
1. Paxton, no. Two Dobermans being headbutted together, definitely. James Cameron, no.
Ski shootout scenes?
No.
Skiing guy shootout scenes.
Because it's either Majesty's Secret Service or Inception.
Yeah, Inception.
Cliffhanger?
Inception is what I had. Inception.
Cliffhanger, anybody?
Yeah.
I like Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger's good too, yeah.
Ice Cube trade thefts, definitely.
Weston Bonaventure, because this in the Line of Fire, back-to-back years.
It's in the Line of Fire.
Yeah, but think about the mind share that the Weston
point.
Bonaventure had on us.
Horse Cops?
Horse Cops. I don't know. I feel like we've topped Horse Cops.
Probably.
Truth Serum?
Yeah.
Might be the number one Truth
It
Serum.
might be the best
right?
Truth Serum.
I'd have to think. Didn't they get, they gave Ethan Hunt Truth Serum one time. No, they didn't. I can't remember.
Florida Keys movies? Where was Wild Things set?
That wasn't the Keys. It was in Miami.
There's
They might go to the Keys. No, it was in Miami. That
Well,
wasn't the
Denzel
Keys.
made one in the Keys, right?
Oh, he made Out of Time. That's a good ass
I
movie.
like Out of Time.
Bro, that's a underrated Denzel gem.
It's not even underrated.
I don't think people talk about it
It's
enough.
properly rated.
I'm gonna go Night Moves, Gene Hackman, Keys,
I like
horny,
it.
and it's horny hacks too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one.
Horny Gene Hackman month is a thing. Just maybe
Horny Hackman?
Horny
Horny
Hackman.
Hackman.
Horny.
It's August. It's time for Horny Hackman. Does Hoosiers? No.
Hoosiers what?
Is he
As
horny
Hackman?
He gets a little.
He gets a little
he's got
Barbara Hershey's.
randy with
Yeah.
Barbara Hershey.
Yeah.
Cruiser Hanks for this movie.
Can I ask a question? Is it better with either?
No. But
no.
I will say
It's a really fun cruise movie.
it would be a fun cruise movie. He kind of made it. But I will say that, like, this is, to me, the only type of movie that Tom Hanks hasn't made. And that's why I would want to see him in it. Like, he could both do the whole thing. He's never really made this movie.
He is not.
And so I kind of want to see
You think
try.
Tom Hanks is like embarrassed by how he runs or something like
Because of
there's some
Forrest
sort
Gump?
of there's some sort of hiccup with him doing just a normal action movie.
I think he's like
he's bad
I
at
know
fake
what
punching people.
what people want from me.
Mm.
I mean,
What's the
Saving
most-
Private Ryan is kind of an action movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is that the most actiony movie he's ever done?
I think so.
Probably,
Or
right?
Forrest Gump. I mean, he's like running and playing ping pong
And in Vietnam?
football. Yeah.
That's true. He does do action stuff and he just never did.
But
a
he's
movie
never
like
been a
that.
guy that like beat up guys in a movie.
No.
Kick the shit out of people. and
That's
stuff.
why he's our generation's Jimmy Stewart.
Wait, so I need for the my notes here. Is it Hanks or Cruz?
It's Cruise.
It's Cruise.
It's Cruise.
But he winds up making it with Mission.
But
Yeah. Racehorse, rock band, wrestler, or fantasy team name.
I don't think Crimson Jihad will work as a racehorse.
And Crimson Jihad probably.
How about a Mega Sector as a racehorse?
Omega Sector? I think is a good one.
Which gets
The
right
Sand
into
Spider?
It gets right into picking nits.
Let's do it. What do you got?
What's a Mega Sector's remit? Like, does the rest of the intelligence community acknowledge their existence? How come they have a stupid phrase on their floor? Spencer Trilby, is he a government employee? Like, what's going on?
So
I have a lot of thoughts.
And
on
he
this.
can call in a
I have a lot
Harrier
of thoughts,
strike
too.
on
Because
an American soil.
They have news crews at the end just showing Arnold.
Yeah.
So that's now his career's over.
No.
Like, how are you a spy if you're on television?
but if you're watching
I
closely,
know he's doing this.
No. If you're listening closely, the news crews say they don't know who's responsible for this, and nobody will take responsibility. And they're talking to Miami police, and Miami police are saying one thing. The thing that got me about Omega Sector, they walk through what seems to be a government building or a front building to get to a more secure place.
Yeah.
So are they a covert ops off the book? He mentions the fact that they are illegally wiretapping people 20 times a day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, who do they report to? Are they a series of kites?
Well, they obviously have like failure in management because Arnold Schwarzenegger is basically able to marshal the surveillance state to follow his wife.
Yes. And make everybody
there
do
should
it.
be a congressional inquiry.
Are they a terrorist organization? Omega Sector.
Well, it could be.
I mean, that's another picking nits is Arnold spends $1 million to figure out if his wife's cheating on him.
Just follow her?
Do it now.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing. But I don't know like who they were. It's kind of like Ethan Hunt's like brigade almost.
Also, when he's like calling in the Harrier jets and the guys are like, if we shoot missiles at this, is it going to set off a nuke? And Arnold's like, I don't know.
I don't know. He doesn't care, by the way.
Yeah.
He says no, but he's like, I don't know.
I got more nitpicks. I think Arnold would be one of the most recognizable counterterrorism spies you could probably come up with. Like,
I mean,
he's
in every
just
room
this
he would
gigantic,
walk into.
handsome guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's not blending in any room.
Yeah.
Cruz is a way better spy because he could kind of ease in.
To continue that, zero chance Jamie Lee doesn't recognize that it's Arnold. When
That
she's
is my
dancing.
biggest nitpick in the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's massive.
Like, that's my biggest nitpick in the whole thing. That and number one, I just don't see 17 years of marriage. You're not figuring out that he's a spy of some sort. It's tough. Also, who is he? Like, what's his story? So he's got a very thick accent. So he's obviously a foreign national.
But can speak Arabic.
He can speak Arabic. Like, who is he? He fly a jet.
Yeah, where'd he
He
come
knows
from?
spycraft.
Yeah.
He's combat trained. He like, what's his deal? Like, where is he? What happened to him? Like,
Do you think also in the 90s?
Like he went to University of California at Santa Barbara for 2 years and was like, wait, I think I want to get into some spy stuff.
right? So it's just
Not going to surf anymore.
the whole time I'm watching the movie now, I'm thinking, yo, where the fuck did this guy come from?
What were his early 20s like?
What were his early 20s like?
What were his early 20s like, Sierra?
I don't know. I mean, it's just like also
It's like I transferred from UCLA. I'm going to Pepperdine now. I met some guy who's in Omega Control.
Omega Sector.
Omega
Some
Sector.
guy with one eye asked me to come work for him.
Some guy who just sized me up and it's like, hey,
And
wanna come in for a
and
meeting?
You want to serve your country?
it's kind of funny to watch the depiction of like a wife just being like, yeah, he just does something with sales. I don't know.
right.
Like, it's
She's
like,
no questions.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's another, I guess that could be a what's age the worst, but like now she would have some way of kind of knowing if he had left the country. That'd probably be on their Life 360 that they have with the daughter. It's like he's in, where does he go in the beginning? What's
Switzerland.
Switzerland, yeah. She probably would have noticed that one. I have big problems with the scuba diving suit with the tuxedo underneath it where nothing gets wet.
I know.
I mean,
yeah.
Andy Dufresne somehow swimming through shit for
That's a
500
Bond, it's a Bond
yards
thing.
and
Though.
then
Bond
putting
is
on the
often
warden's
like coming
suit.
out from a submarine
Yeah,
and walking
no,
into
I
a
get
cocktail
it.
party.
It's just, come on.
Ripping somebody else's face off and it's actually a different face.
Harry escapes the mansion and murders, 30 people?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day he's like, I'm going to go see Juno Skinner.
Yeah.
They're not going to suspect anything. Maybe like let it breathe for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Also, it's not an international incident that happened. There's
Right.
like a massacre at an art auction.
Yeah. It was like the last guy seen was some
Yeah.
handsome,
6'5"
muscle-bound guy walked
Austrian.
out. and
Lots of destruction. He blew a bunch of shit up. He didn't just
Yeah.
kill people. He left a trail of massacre and destruction in his wake.
And he's like, hey, I have a 1 o'clock with Juno Skinner.
Where are offices? Right here in River City.
Yeah.
Go hang out with her.
I have a lot of issues with Jamie Lee deciding to rip her dress into a cocktail dress and how perfectly. It was my wife's biggest nitpick. She's like, there's no way something would have ripped. The dead limo driver on the Florida Keys Bridge, just keeping that car pretty straight for about a mile. How does that work?
I don't know. That's great.
Why did the 14-year-old daughter steal the key from the terrorists? What was her plan there?
I have no clue.
I honestly, the first time through watching it this time, actually the second time through, I didn't understand how Dana got involved at the end. Like, did they?
They're like, they've got Dana.
They got
It's like,
Dana.
oh no. It's
We
like they
got
just
Dana.
needed a
There's a
serum.
When you're in
Scene-
Florida.
There's a scene where he like has his wallet and he sees a photo that there's a daughter.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, oh.
Yeah.
So they send somebody. Okay, so let's
From Florida
game
back
this
to
out.
DC.
So they sent somebody to DC to get her. Then they got her back.
Mhm.
So I guess they had a plane
Yeah, right.
because they had him
Yeah.
on a plane. So I guess they had a plane.
It's not really how hostage stuff works.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Don't you think Arnold Schwarzenegger would have dragged that horse off of the roof? Can a horse's neck hold Arnold Schwarzenegger up?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, like a.
Well, the horse would have, in real life, the horse is already dead after the elevator.
Oh, but if
just
you're
falls to
asking
his
if the
death.
horse is strong enough to pull him back on the thing,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sequel, prequel, prestige, CBL, Blackcaster, Untouchable. It was in motion from 98 to 2001. And they finished the script. Cameron and Arnold were back, and then 9/11 happened.
And they're like, fuck it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. There's more if you want to Google it. There was an airplane scene. Cameron said in 2002, terrorism is no longer something to take as lightly as we did in the first one. I just can't see it happening given the current world climate. And that was it. And then CBS apparently developed a TV show for 2 years.
It's on.
Is it on now?
I think it came out, right?
Yeah. When I searched True Lies, that's what popped up first. It's on.
How do I get a network television show? What do I do?
It's on Tubi.
So wait, is it on? Is CBS
Do you
on
not
TV?
have network TV? Of course you have
You
network
know
TV.
who plays?
I just don't
you
know. I don't know what's on
plays,
CBS.
the Charlton Heston role?
Who?
Horny Gene Hackman.
Come on.
No,
I don't believe that.
Of course not. Gene Hackman's like 97 years old.
It's his comeback role.
Right.
Just threw an eye patch on him.
Oh, I did have one more picking it. I forgot. So most movies have bad evil marksmanship. This movie has the worst evil marksmanship.
Oh, where they're like right in front of them.
Yeah.
And shoot it.
They
Now
can't
Rambo
hit
2 is
Yeah.
still the number one.
shit.
It's a cartoon.
Like, like this movie has the worst evil marksmanship. It's so
Yeah.
many times to shoot these guys, and they don't ever do it. And every time they shoot, they miss.
But they do shoot innocent bystanders.
Who gets shot?
Doesn't somebody get shot in the Washington Mall, like in the Georgetown Mall when Crimson Jihad is escaping?
When a
Because
guy's
he's
on his
just
way
getting
out
out?
because
Yeah.
he's shooting people.
Is this movie better with Wayne Jenkins, Danny Trejo, Sam Jackson, JT Walsh, Byron Mayo, Harling Mays, evil laughing Ramon Raymond, Philip Baker Hall? Who did we add last week?
Well,
Or is it better directed by Jan Dubai?
I don't think this is better directed by JDB. One more honorary Bill Paxton from Aliens character Hudson showing up.
Oh.
That's just great, man. I just pissed myself at the dam. The fuck are we gonna do now, man? I got a little dick. Game over.
So we're adding him?
Yeah.
He's Wayne
He
Jenkins'
gets him
cousin?
before the movie even gets him, before we do Aliens. Yeah.
Oh, congrats to him. What's his full name?
Hudson, Corporal Hudson.
Simon Hudson. I'm just adding that.
Simon Hudson.
Just one Oscar who gets it. Special effects?
Yeah, or Cameron.
I'm going with Tom Arnold.
Oh
for
my
supporting.
God. For
Best
an
supporting.
Oscar?
Wow.
Yeah.
For an Academy
What
Award?
a stunner that would have been.
Yeah. Tom Arnold for
Morgan
supporting.
Freeman
shit,
is lost.
Roseanne!
Yeah. Travolta and Bruce Willis have gone down. to
I'm
Tom
putting
Arnold.
him in the Marissa Tomei, My Cousin Vinny class of supporting
Oh,
character Oscars.
like it.
Yeah.
Probably unanswerable questions. We've hit all mine except is not being able to do the tango a top 10 thing you're jealous of? When I
Honestly,
watch people do the tango, I'm like, that it just feels like you would have the power of 10 men if you could
It's
do that.
only ever occurs to me when I watch a movie and someone tangos. I've never been in a real life situation where
What if you and
someone's
Phoebe took tango lessons?
I mean,
That'd be so fun.
I don't know. Like, what if
That'd
we
be amazing if you were like unbelievable tango.
That'd
be
be
so
nice,
great.
Chris. Wouldn't that be nice?
You go to a wedding and you're like, hey,
What's the matter with you, Chris? Why don't you tango with
I'm
your
saying,
wife?
it'll be so fun.
Have
man.
you ever been in a real life situation that called for
Never.
you to tango?
never.
Think about that question.
I don't think the tango is that racially coded.
It is.
Is it? All right.
What
Dream
situation?
big, you know?
What situation? What situation would the tango
Yeah.
happen?
Well, I don't. You
It's
tell
like
me,
all
like,
these
when do they
white
play
people
it?
are like, we tango
No,
now.
no, no. Well, not even. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying it doesn't even seem to be like an American thing, right?
Yeah, it's
like
an Argentinian thing, right?
overseas. Yeah, it's overseas.
If I
or
was at
whatever.
any sort of function and two people started doing the tango, I would feel like the fucking moon landing.
But what
was
if they
happening
were
again?
fucking crazy at it though? We was gonna talk about for Chris. If they were really fucking amazing, wouldn't that be something to see?
So you
It would
got
be.
for like a ringer holiday party. Here's
And I'm
the
like,
thing.
hold on, guys.
If you promise to throw a ringer holiday party, I'll learn to tango with
There you
Phoebe,
go.
and then we will fucking tango.
Oh my God.
That's
do
great.
it. Do
Yeah,
it.
bro.
Is
You
it
gotta hold
July?
him to it, bro. Yeah.
Oh yeah, well that sounds great.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll let her
How
know when we
many
go.
how many months do you have to learn how to tango?
I have no clue. It's like
I'm sure there's got to be some guy. To
Is it
Instagram
only
who
one
be like,
tango song? It's like dun 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 dun. Are there other tango songs? Is there like a tango soundtrack?
I don't know. I think we're gonna go with the Bill Simmons tango anthem. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Any other unanswerables?
We got them all.
Oh, I got one. Did Harry ever have to sleep with another woman for a mission? We know she's never.
I think he did it for fun. Every Schwarzenegger character,
You must do
always
this.
have to kind of factor in the horny.
This is for national security.
Arnold, like one of the horniest A-list superstars we've
He's
ever
very
had.
horny.
He's not flirting with every other woman in this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Every scene with Tia Carrera, he's like, "Let's go back to my trailer."
Yeah. He's got a whole, yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
Best double feature choice. What do you got, CR?
Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Kind
Oh,
of
this
a riff on this.
This is kind of I have that. This is kind of the spiritual prequel to
Yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
I have a weird one. What do you have?
I have the Born Identity.
I
Mm-hmm.
have Speed.
Okay.
Just go
JDB?
summer '94.
Summer
Yeah.
94.
Speed.
Yonder Bond.
Red and True Lies.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Andy and Red Zawatney were what happened the next day. We know they became married spies. I have some questions about whether the daughter is
Seems to be a part of the spy situation.
at least on it.
Spy Family.
As somebody who has or had a teenage daughter, like I just feel like she would tell her friends, "Hey, Emily, don't tell anyone this, but my mom and dad are counterterrorist
They're in
spies."
Omega Sector.
Yeah, I feel like that gets out in 5 minutes.
So I've never been more sure about what happens the next day after the movie goes off.
Just
They
some
were
crazy sex.
100% both killed in action. 100%. He brought her on.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any real training.
Yeah.
She is all vibes. They were, I mean, she's a year. I don't know if it takes a year to be like the top of the Omegas. She 100% gets him killed. 100% killed in action, both of them.
I think that
That's
they
marriage.
both go to jail for embezzling funds for Omega Sector because you could tell Harry got his beak wet during the course of this mission where he's like, ooh, a little suite at the hotel. Like, like marshaling the surveillance state against my wife. Like, I can't stop taking money from work. And then they go down.
Yeah.
Trilby brings him down.
Yep.
What piece of memorabilia would you want from the movie?
I guess the glasses with the camera, just because I'd like to experience that. It's sort of the first Vision Pro.
That's actually a great one. I had like the nuclear warhead. I could put it in my like bedroom.
that's
or
a
something
good
like
one.
That. That's a
Yeah.
good one. But the glasses are great. You know what? You ever been
The
to
Corvette
a spy
would be
store?
good.
I have not.
They have spy. I looked it up. I've never been to one, but they have spy stores here. In
Yeah.
like there's one in Beverly Hills. You can go and buy all kinds of different spy stuff.
Really?
My private investigator
Like
license
private-
lapsed, so I probably wouldn't be.
You go there and buy like different types of surveillance stuff. They have spy stores.
I'd want the tranquilizer
taser? Yeah.
taser. The Coach Finstock Award for Best Life Lesson. I have either you're a sick bitch if you steal the ice cube trays out of the freezer, or it's okay to lie to your spouse because it will all work out.
I don't know if I like either of those, but go ahead.
Mine is not in the movie, but I just came up with my own. Just encourage your wife's freak.
Yes.
Oh,
Like she wants to dance for you, bro. She
Right.
wants to get crazy. She wants to get it. She wants to be free. She wants it to happen, bro. Just encourage it. Don't hold her back. Don't make her wear the ankle length shit. Turn on that fucking
she's on her
shit.
sad exercise bike in
Yeah,
your
that's
bedroom,
not what she wants.
wondering why you didn't get home in time
Yeah.
for the birthday cake.
Or not. Bill Paxton's coming along. Just encourage
Yeah.
your wife's freak, man.
There's something just amazing about you doing this speech to this necklace you got. You got fucking
Who won the movie?
fucking dying right now.
Who won the movie?
Cameron.
Look at James Cameron for sure.
Yeah.
This is
Cameron.
his
It's
best
interesting. I
directing
thought
role.
it would be a debate, but I guess not. All right. Producer Craig had not seen this movie.
No, but there's also like I feel like there's nothing I can bring to this that you guys haven't already. I'm glad I watched this movie after having seen a good chunk of the Arnold 80s, 90s movies, because this does feel like the Avengers Endgame of the genre.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
It feels like we peaked. And then it kind of never came back. I don't know if it's like Fast and Furious is the modern version of these.
But doesn't that feel like all like it's happening inside a computer compared to
100%. Also, these movies are like, this movie is nuts. And it's like good and bad. And it I don't know. I know you love Tom Arnold and Jamie Lee. Like I personally feel like no one's really good at acting in this movie. Like the acting is, but it's like, and everybody knows that and is okay with that. And it's like actually part of why the movie's good. It's like if the actors were better, I think the movie's not necessarily better.
Yeah.
Because it's a bunch of serious situations that no one's really taking seriously.
Yes.
And it works for the overall tone of the movie to sell you on everything that has
And
to
like
happen.
Fast and the Furious would never have a scene like the Paxton scene.
Right.
Never.
Yeah.
Because that movie takes itself too seriously.
You know why
Totally.
it takes itself seriously?
So my family.
Salute me, familia. Vin always turns the bottle, turns it way back. Vin's never drank a beer bottle before.
I was pretty shocked by how much like run they gave Tom Arnold in this movie. I was like,
Yeah, they really let him cook.
I bet you he has the most lines in this movie because Arnold doesn't talk a whole lot. Arnold
Yeah.
is like borderline, like a lead in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is a guy I had no relationship with, and I was like, wow, this is like a rare moment where they gave kind of a random guy a ton of leash in a movie with two pretty big stars.
Yeah, I wonder whether it's because the script is so action based that like in those
just
more
need
like
somebody.
chatty scenes, he's just like, yeah, just go for it, man. Yeah.
Were you a best damn sports show period guy, Chris?
I was not. Not
Yeah.
At first. And it got stale.
was that
pretty
with
quick.
John Sally?
Yeah,
John Sally, Tom Arnold.
and a couple other guys that were rotating in and out. But at first,
Who's the
I tried
lady
it.
on that? There was a female host. I'm blanking.
What's her face?
Not Lisa Guerrero.
No.
Lisa Guerrero?
I can't remember. Like very good looking lady. I can't remember her name right now.
I never really logged that show. Never watched it.
I watched it a couple of times.
So Craig, thumbs up. We're on a heater this summer.
Yeah,
You love Twister. You love True Lies.
Yeah, True Lies is like borderline the most like entertaining movie ever. I mean, it's
Wow.
just like pure raw excess.
Yeah. It's like the last of its kind.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It's like the rave before the apocalypse.
like a mukbang of
Yeah.
a movie.
Well, this goes back to Twister last week when I was saying I felt like something was shifting because True Lies 94 and Speed, and it just felt like we were hitting the tail end of something. And then Twister, it's this new era is coming. I remember going to Godzilla in '98, Matthew Broderick.
I remember that one.
And I was so fucking bummed out. I thought it sucked. And it was like just bad special effects. And it was like, oh man, now this is what we're going to get. Like you could just feel something shift.
Yeah, they made it.
I also didn't have a lot going on back then. So I really get bummed out by
It
movies.
really bummed me out.
Yeah, the wrong kind of move. Like, man.
What movie broke it? I mean, this was the peak, but what movie broke it? Eraser comes out like a couple of years later. It didn't
Well,
fail.
we ran out of the same kind of stars. 'Cause
Yeah.
Nick Cage was trying to keep it alive with Con Air. And
Con Air
couple
was
of those.
great.
Yeah.
It got a
The
little
Rock.
moneyballed where it's like, oh, you can actually have like a regular actor just
Yeah.
do these big action movies, and you don't have to have like
Jackie Chan.
$25 million.
Yeah. All right. CR, great to see you. Van Lathan, great to see you. You can listen to Van on Higher Learning. You can listen to him on The Ringerverse, Midnight Boys. You can hear CR on The Watch and The Big Picture. And I'm going to be on the Prestige TV on Tuesday talking Presumed Innocent. Even though I'm supposed to be on vacation. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you.